Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, who the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collab drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. They have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLC Fam.
Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. And today I'll be using my Kiwi accent instead of my Lower East Side accent. If you haven't guessed, this is not Toby Morse. I'm Dan Smith, and I have kind of hijacked the airwaves over here in his kitchen for a very special announcement. I've been friends with Toby for 25 years or so, and he's always shown me love and support with everything I've done, from my music, from taking bands on tour, having me create artwork for H2O, and countless other things over the years. I've filled in for them a couple times on bass and guitar and made memories I could never forget. In exchange, I've tattooed him a million times and might have seen more of his body than Moon has at this point. And today he surprised me and asked me to do my very own read and announce something that I've been working on that will now be a new sponsor of this very podcast. I grew up playing and loving soccer or football, and if music and tattoos didn't get in the way, I'm literally positive I would have been a pro. A couple years ago, me and my friend Kevin decided to start Field Soccer Supply. Field is a soccer-based clothing brand, but mostly Field's an idea that was created from me being involved in bands and tattooing, etc. for over 25 years and experiencing the crucial, amazing, connecting element of what makes the world go around: community. We kind of exist to elevate the passion for the beautiful game and just connect music, culture, historic moments along the way. So if you've got kids in soccer or you play in an adult league with your mates, you know how it goes. Every season, new uniforms, new fees, new hassles, new everything. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world, but is literally the #1 sport in America that kids actually stop playing. And the main reason is simply just the cost of everything. All those old polyester jerseys end up in a landfill something too, and the love of the game kind of follows soon after. We're going to do something different. We take old uniforms headed for the dump and recycle them. We then use the recycled polyester to create uniforms that any team can love. They're fully customizable, team kits, fan wear, and also there's a lifestyle and essentials side to it that celebrate amazing moments in soccer and music history combined. You know, playing is the most important thing. We host monthly play-for-free pickup games here in Southern California, and we're just getting started. The goal is to eventually do this everywhere and help make playing doable for anyone. Check out The Field Dream on socials and thefielddream.com for more info and join our team. Okay, I'm going to hand you back to the real host of the pod and get back to the regular programming. Thanks for listening.
Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Got my brother, Mr. Derek Green, with me today. Thank you, Derek Green, for being
Toby
here.
Hi, Toby Morse.
Love you for being here. Love having you. Always love having you. Love seeing you pull up on your electric bike, all environmentally aware of the world around you. I love it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. In front of me, I got a legend from Philadelphia. Used to be my neighbor, became my friend through Josh Brolin, actually. Mr. Joey Feldman, thank you for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Your
boy's got an epic voice, by the
insane,
way. I mean,
dude.
it's fucking phenomenal.
You were my first
Thank you.
artist on the podcast ever.
Really?
He's my first.
Are
Yeah.
you serious?
What other people did? Just
What do you got against artists?
I mean, what year is this?
just
Jesus.
2020. You're the first person that paints and does art and all kinds of stuff. It's been
No
the podcast.
way.
I don't know anybody else on the podcast, but an artist like Joey Feldman.
I'm going to think about it.
Also, no, I'm for real.
Okay. I believe you.
And we met. Obviously, we met because we're neighbors, but also then Brolin's like, "Oh, my friend Joey is in your neighborhood, right fucking behind your house."
Well, I knew of your podcast,
Okay.
and I would drive around the neighborhood, and I'd see you walking. You were doing all your shit. You had headphones in and all. And a couple times I approached you, and I just said, "Hey, what's up?" But you're a big shot, so you don't really.
Oh, yeah. Big shot in the
you know
neighborhood.
what I mean?
This
So-
is true. Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys
You know
are
what I mean?
assholes.
He's like
too.
running the neighborhood, the mayor.
So
The mayor.
Anyway, we became friends pretty fast. I met you right behind my house. It was awesome, dude.
yeah. I mean, you're my Aries brother. I'm April 11th.
That's right, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
1970.
snap. And you're April 8th.
8th, yes, correct.
Yes.
It's coming soon, dude,
Yeah,
too.
I know.
So yeah, how are you, man?
I'm great, man. The weather's great. I mean, I'm celebrating another day of freedom.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to living my life today, not surviving.
I do
it's
miss.
great.
I do miss. For the people listening, he was there for about a year, and now he's not there anymore, and so I don't see him every day like I used to see him. So I miss seeing him around the neighborhood for sure, man.
Yeah, you too, man. It was
you're not
fun
at
for
the same
sure.
spot.
No, he's out of there, man.
No, man. I'm scaling back and just chilling.
Right.
Like too. I don't want any responsibilities. I thought I
Okay.
did.
All right. Yeah.
But it was cool just seeing like your process and the stuff you do, and you draw and you paint and you put them online like a certain amount, and how fast they sell out. Like the core fan base you have that always waiting to buy anything you drop. It's awesome. What you
Yeah, I'm
created.
blessed, man. I got a group of collectors and people that really support me, and they're into it. And, I try to connect with them, and I'm grateful for each and every one. Anybody that's ever bought or shared any of my stuff, I'm grateful for them.
Yeah, and you came a long way from Philadelphia, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a long story, man, to get out here.
How
to
long
Los
you been in
Angeles.
California for?
I've been here almost 16 years.
Okay, and how long you been sober for now?
So I'm sober over 32 years.
Damn.
33 coming up July, man.
Wow, man.
Correct.
And I got sober in Philly in July, and there's nothing worse than, detoxing in Philadelphia, man. It just smells like piss everywhere.
Oh, the summers are brutal too.
Horrible. South Philly.
South Philly. Well, let's take it back to South Philly. You have siblings too?
No, I'm an only child.
Okay. And how was it growing up in Philly for you?
Well, okay, so I grew up in, they call it the far northeast, Philadelphia, and I was an only child. I wasn't too into sports and all. Like I did some BMX riding.
Yeah.
My dad was cool with me, supported me with that. A little bit of baseball here and there, but I was mostly into just like drawing and comic books and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And kept to myself, but I was like the short, fat kid with pimples and greasy hair, and I got picked on all the time.
Okay.
What
And
was your comic book of choice?
Oh,
Or did
dude.
you have a...
Well,
Oh,
my
okay.
nickname, I have a nickname, but I was always into Wolverine because
Okay.
the original Wolverine
Right,
was
right.
only 5'2".
Yep.
I'm 5'3". I'm
okay,
stocky,
yeah.
and I had these big ass mutton chops. So,
Amazing, dude.
man, I was into
I need to see
it.
photos of that for sure.
Oh, yeah. I send them to you. I got them on my phone.
You also loved Hulk and Godzilla and Frankenstein, all that stuff too, growing up, right?
All the misunderstood monsters,
Yes.
man, because
Okay.
like that's how I felt all my life, and I grew up in this neighborhood. It was predominantly Catholic.
Okay.
I was like
Okay.
the only Jewish kid. And like when they found out, man, it was, it's Philly. It was brutal. Like they gave me a nickname Joey instead of Joe.
Wow.
And they
Yeah.
would just, I would get a beating like almost every day. You know what I mean?
Dude.
But those same kids, because like, man, I don't know what happened. I just wanted to fit in so much.
Yeah.
Like I took my first drink with them because you'd mentioned my sobriety.
Yeah.
And like just to like hang,
Right.
I started drinking because, I was like,
Can't beat him, join him.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like my first drug of choice, I think, was your approval. Like I just wanted to fit in. You know what I mean?
How old are you then?
I was like 11.
Okay.
I'm
Oh
11
God,
years
11.
old.
Damn.
You're roaming
So you're
the
like-
streets.
you're a
at
latchkey
11?
kid.
Like,
Well, yeah, latchkey. Yeah,
Okay.
so I came. My parents, my dad was a working man. He was a house painter,
Yeah.
and he worked till 7:00 at night sometimes. My mom was an old switchboard operator.
oh, wow.
And she would
Wow.
work at night. So like, and my grandmother sort of raised me.
Gotcha.
But there was nobody around. There was no rules. Like no
Got
one
it.
sat me down and
Right.
taught me how to do certain things. There was no support, and my mom was like, I make a joke of it. Like anytime I want a shot of low self-esteem, I call my mom on the phone. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because she was like brutal, like she would sometimes like when I was into the art and stuff like that, she would be like, don't even try. There's a curse on the family, just
Damn.
just
Negative.
yeah, and like, and I would go to school and I hated learning. Like I had this passion of hatred towards learning because they might diagnose it today as like ADHD or some shit. But
Yeah.
like, I just couldn't concentrate in school. I never felt part of, and I would just draw on my sketchbooks all the time. And no one really encouraged me. I had a couple teachers
Yeah.
that took interest. I had in 5th grade, I was doing miserably, but my teacher, Mrs. Moss, I'll never forget her. She gave me an award at graduation, classroom cartoonist.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
I
cool.
was like, and I thought that was cool. And then, that was about it. That was about all the encouragement I got. Yeah.
So you taking art classes, obviously, in school.
Yeah,
of.
I mean, just common like art classes.
Yeah.
Nothing
That
really
they
big
make you
deal.
take, like the standard art
Yeah,
class.
it was
Yeah.
like take that or reading, and
Right.
of course I'm going to take art. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
So no sports in school, none of that shit.
no, dude.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I was told you, I was the fat. I couldn't climb up the ropes. You remember we had ropes and we had to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
somersaults and all that. Like, I was just the worst.
So you were kind of like a loner in school, kind of just.
Well, that's the thing. I had a lot of acquaintances in school.
Yeah.
I didn't have any like close friends.
Yeah.
But I was the guy that like they assigned, like when class would end, I would leave 5 minutes early because I had like one kid who had Tourette syndrome. I used to watch out for him.
Okay.
One kid who had spina bifida, like he had a walk, thing, and we would.
Yeah.
I'd help these kids with like their books and stuff, and I would take them to the elevator. So I was
Wow,
like,
man.
that were my people though. Like I felt most at ease.
You're misfits. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
X-Men, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
And the kid with Tourette's was really cool. I actually, a funny story is when I started smoking weed at a early age, I gave the kid weed.
Oh,
And-
did it help? With
And
this
it
Tourette's?
helped him.
I have
And
heard this.
And he
Damn.
used to come up to me and be like, yeah, because he would, he would tweak. It's not funny, but he would laugh and shit at it. But he would be like, "You got any of those cigs, dude?" Like he would flip, and I would be like, "Yeah, man, let's go do it."
Oh man, you kind of leveling them out, helping them out. Wow.
Yeah. But you got back to the misunderstood monsters you were talking about.
Yeah.
I just always I didn't feel bad for people, but I'm more interested in like the girl who was deaf, the kid who had Tourette's than like these jocks and stuff like
Yeah,
that, you
dude,
know, and
yeah.
like, you know, so I hung with them.
Kind of like the punk misfits, kind of in a sense.
Yeah. You know?
Damn. And so,
And I was into like punk and stuff. Like I used to dye my hair orange and purple, and people weren't doing that back then. You know,
Right.
where I was into Echo and the Bunnymen was my jam.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Gene Loves Jezebel.
Yeah.
how'd you find that music?
So my cousin Bonnie, who was like my sister growing up, she was an only child. Her parents were going through some time. She moved in with me. She had a boyfriend, and he was real into music. And they actually, like, I shaved my head, and I saw the Dead Kennedys in New Hope.
Damn,
in like
dude.
it must have been like 81 or 82.
man.
They snuck me into the show.
That's amazing,
Right,
bro.
so and then they used to take me to hardcore shows. Like I saw Crass,
Oh my God.
What the hell,
Tesco
dude?
V, and the Meat Man, and all.
Wow.
And then we would go downtown, and he taught me how to steal records. And there was this record store on Arch Street. I think it was.
How old are you then?
I was like 13, man.
Holy fuck!
You know?
Going to those shows is crazy, bro.
But like but that exposed me to so much like killer music that
Yeah.
now is legendary.
Yes.
And back then people were like making fun of me for it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
it's
I
like
a
mean? It
blueprint
was-
to everything.
Yeah, you know.
So how'd you steal the records? Like, what was the?
Well, like most of them were like 45s. I
Oh, smart,
remember
easy.
like
Right.
there was like a ton. I was obsessed with like the Sex Pistols. And they did that movie, The Great Rock and Roll Swindle.
Yeah, dude.
And there was this beautiful like illustrations of Sid and like, you know, Jonesy and shit. And they were 45s, and I would just go in there, and the one guy would distract them, and I would just like stick it in my thing, and they wouldn't suspect me or anything like
Damn,
that, you know?
dude.
So it was cool.
Never got caught.
No, never got caught. No.
Besides stealing stuff, were you kind of a troublemaker kid at all, or no?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I stole from my parents.
That was later, though, right? Or
Well,
younger.
it started early.
Okay.
You know, like I knew my dad used to have a stash of $100 bills. Like he would work all week hard. I would go and just like steal $100 bill, you know, like
That's a
shit
lot
like
for
that.
a kid back
That's
then.
a lot,
I,
bro.
I would like my grandmother had a coin collection.
Coin,
and
the
I-
coin collection, yes.
and I would take a couple and I go sell them. It was like
And this is before the heavy drugs.
this is before, yeah. This is before the drugs, man. Like I just like, I don't know. I was just attracted
Mischievous
to
kid.
insanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was like, I needed to not feel, I think, who I was, or I just didn't want to be who I was so much that,
you
know,
weren't happy in your own skin or none of that. Yeah.
none of that, man. It was
Yeah.
miserable. I mean, between getting beat up and just like, you know, just, I hated, it was a miserable existence.
And that was all through school.
All
Till
through
you
school.
graduated, even like
Yeah,
high
I mean,
school.
like I got in high school, got a couple friends there, and then some cool things did happen in high school. I was kicked off the yearbook committee. They wouldn't let me do my artwork, you know, any of that shit. Like, and then my yearbook quote, they changed around because I wrote SMB, which meant suck my balls, and like on the thing. There was all this shit. But what happened though was in junior year, I got a job at Crazy Eddie's. Do you remember Crazy?
Well, you know, it's
Crazy
East Coast
Eddie's.
shit, dude.
East,
Yeah.
selling like it was, everything
Yeah.
and anything is insane, like
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah, I totally remember
you,
that, yeah.
You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I still do, right?
That's right.
And I got a job there, and I had a work roster. Like I would only have to go to school for like 2 or 3 classes, and then I got to go to work, and they would sign it to make sure I was working.
That's cool, man.
But the dudes there at Crazy Eddie's was insane to work there. But those guys got me on coke, you know. So I started doing coke, like you
Crazy
know,
Joey.
yeah. And like you know, I
Are you
call
an
I call
elef-
it powdered
I don't know why I'm
alcohol.
laughing. I mean,
It's just fucking
Oh,
wild.
it's
really-
great.
Was this 11th
That's
grade,
tough.
12th grade?
Oh yeah, man.
yeah.
You know, and
Start
like,
doing coke then, yeah.
started doing coke, weed every day. That was a given, you
Right.
know. But like,
Did your parents know you were partying and wilding out like that?
well, they had an idea, but like,
maybe
I
the
would-
missing $100 bills maybe could be. I don't know.
like I don't know if it was like extreme. well, here's the deal. It was like, dude, I would.
Grandma's coins.
Well, here's the deal, man. If when you're an addict, you know, like they say, a good drug addict is somebody that'll steal your wallet and like try to help you find it.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I had all this program. I don't know where it came from, and you know, man, I was just like I was like I was troubled. So I started doing the coke and all, and you know, I was turning people on at school, you know, and then I like, you know, people started to like me,
I
you
see.
know, and then
Okay.
I started dealing weed, you know, and like,
Okay.
You know, like, but that was a little bit later on. But I used to get people to come in, like cops and stuff. Like I'd go to like strip clubs, and like I'd get carded.
Yeah.
And I would have these Crazy Eddie VIP cards, which would get people like an extra discount. So like I get pulled over by a cop or stopped at the door, you know, by a bouncer. I'd be like, yo, man, will this get me anywhere? And everybody loved Crazy Eddies. And they would come in, man. I'd give them deals. And like, you know what
That's
I mean?
fucking crazy.
Well, it was like power at that
Yeah.
point, you know?
But you came from like a loving family, like a roof over your head, food. You guys weren't struggling, were you, your family?
Poor as fuck, dude.
Okay,
Okay. There were times I would come home and like the lights would be off.
Okay.
There'd be like an eviction from the sheriff, like they didn't pay the mortgage.
Oh, shit, okay.
And then my parents would fight, and I'd be up in my room, and I'd hear them arguing, and we'd like have like a candle, you know, for the electricity. And I was just like terrified.
And they were both from Philly.
They were both from Philly, yeah. And my dad, like, he worked his ass off, and you know, he eventually passed away, and I think it was like because of the stress, and they just couldn't get their shit together. You know what I mean? And like my grandmother lived with us. She eventually passed away, but yeah, it was like
she took care of you mostly, though. Yeah.
Yeah, she like mostly took care of me. But it was like it was just a really weird situation. You know what I mean? But yeah, I always had clothes. They used to take me to the store buy pants called Huskies.
I remember Huskies.
I remember Huskies.
Oh, bro. I'd go into school. All these kids are wearing like Gerbeau and Levi's, and I'm in Huskies, and like, oh man, it was like I said, I hated.
Damn, they had no idea the torture you were going through at school, getting bullied and all this shit, dude.
No, you know, so like I guess that's where I found, you know, some solace in acting out.
Yeah,
You know-
it's
you
just
know?
crazy how it is now, how open parents are with their children. Back then, you really couldn't say things to your parents or talk about your feelings like that, or even go to therapy and shit.
Yeah,
you didn't have nobody to talk to about that shit.
So
you know?
and they never raised the kid. They had no experience. Like no one ever sat me down and told me like how to balance a checkbook. No one taught me about sex. You know,
Yeah.
none of that stuff. Like, you know, so I went from the kid that was like, Mom, may I have $20? Mom, I need $20. Mom, if you don't give me $20, I'm going to burn the house down with you. And I was this uncontrollable kid.
Wow.
You know, so it just like it,
Did you get arrested a bunch as a kid or no?
never. I mean, I did get taken in a few times, but I never got arrested. I always talked my way out of it. Like I was always able to get out of it. Those Crazy Eddie VIP cards helped, but yeah, I remember like my friends and I, we went out with BB guns one night, and because we used to, like, we would just drive and we would just take out bus stops, and if we didn't like people, we'd go to their house and shoot their cars up. And one night we got caught. And 4 of us had to go to jail, and we're in the cells. And I told the guy, like, hey, you look familiar. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was in there buying a TV. And I'm like, come back, I'll give you a deal. They let me go. And then I came home. Wait, and then the next day, there's a knock on the door, and it's my friend Anthony. He's got no shoelaces. And my dad answers the door. It's like 5 a.m. Like, Anthony had to talk to me, like they were going to press it all on him. And my dad's yelling, he's got no shoelaces on. They were in jail last night, Harriet. That was my mom's name. You know, it was crazy. But I got out of it, you know.
Holy shit. So now you're in high school and you're dealing like weed and stuff?
A little bit of weed. Yeah. And it was great when prom season would happen. You know, like I wanted to be the Jewish Scarface of Northeast Philadelphia. You know, and like once I had that, people were my friends.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but
were you stretching out in your body at that point, changing? Were you getting... Well, you still
yeah,
had the
yeah.
big kid
I wasn't
growing into
like
your body.
I wasn't fat. I
Yeah.
had like a girlfriend, like
Nice.
this first girl,
Okay.
you know, and fell like obsessively in love. I think I even drove my car. I was so crazy about this one girl. Like I drove my car outside of her house and I was blasting In Your Eyes, like
Oh,
Say
from the
Anything.
movie?
Yeah.
The
Father
Anything.
came out, threw a trash can at me. You know, I mean, you know, I was living in fantasy, man.
Damn.
What year did you graduate?
Yeah.
Perhaps?
88.
88.
Me too.
Okay.
88 class.
But
of
I
88.
hung around like 89. Like I went to the senior prom in 89. My prom was a nightmare. Like they made me go with this girl I didn't like.
Who
And
made you?
Who made you go?
all these people are like, you're going to the prom with her. She doesn't have a date. So I'm like, all right, I'll go. And I had this big stash of weed. She stole my weed. And I go out on the balcony. Like it was like this Howard Johnson's hotel. You know how you go to like
Johnson's.
some shit like that. I don't know. And the girl was basically, you know, like she was in the middle of a lovemaking session and they had my weed. And I was like, yo, give that back to me. I remember that.
Oh my
my
God,
God,
bro.
But then I went to another prom after that. That was a little better, you know, but I wasn't into any of that
What do you
stuff.
do when you graduate? Like, what do you still at Crazy Eddie's?
So here's what happened when dude, this is another story.
I love this.
I wasn't going to graduate because
Okay.
I was failing miserable. Oh, I had a grade changing business too, because I was working with these artist pens, these rapidographs they're called.
Okay.
People would bring me report cards and I would change E's and F's to like B's and stuff. So I made a little bit of side money with that, and I did that with myself also. But I got a call. Not a call. I got called down to the vice principal's office, Mrs. Walton, and she said, listen, we've had it with you. This is a woman that she would catch me cutting class, and she dragged me by my ear into her office, and they'd had it with me. She said, you're going to be here next year. You're failing everything. And all my parents wanted at this point was just graduate.
Yeah.
Like, there was no hopes of college. I didn't sit down with a counselor or any of that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I was going to work at Crazy Eddie's, right?
Yeah.
So she said, you're going to fail. You're going to summer school and then you're going to have to repeat, 12th grade.
Yeah.
So I told my boss at Crazy Eddie's, Larry, his name was Larry Shelton. Larry was cool. He's this old black guy. And he was like, just do it, man. Whenever we had a sale, he was fucking awesome. And I said, Larry, look, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to work. And he's like, you're one of our best guys here. You got to work. He said, I'll tell you what, go in there, sit down and talk to her. See if she needs anything. Right? Like I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, and I'm thinking like, it's like mafia style, right?
Yes.
So I sat down and I said, look, Miss Walton, my parents want to see me pass. I need to work. Is there any, where I work at, is there anything I could get for you? She needed a VCR and a Walkman. Right? Which,
No way,
dude. I got her that, and I think it might have been a CD player because they had just come out.
Yeah.
So you bribed her pretty much.
That's how I graduated with like I think like E's. I passed school. Like that was like the minimal you
I
could
never
get
knew you
through.
could get an E,
I didn't
dude.
know he existed.
Maybe they came up with it for me just to get me out of there. But then I just kept on working at Crazy Eddie's, man. And then I really got into the drugs like that. I was hanging out with a crew. And we were just like that, it was every night, man. Like I would work like from 3 to 8 and then from like 8, 9 o'clock till like 4 a.m, we were just out like doing damage, destruction, strip clubs, whatever.
Coke,
you could
everything,
think of.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I just couldn't stop using at that point. It's just, that was my life.
I want to go back to the graduation real quick. So when she says she wants these items, she wants the headphones.
Yeah.
How does that transaction work? Because you don't bring it to school and give it to her.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I came in one day with a box and I went to her office and it was the beginning of the morning. I said, Miss Walton, may I speak with you? I probably shouldn't say her name. Maybe
That's
too
too
late
old.
now.
It's 40 years ago.
And
She might not be here. She is.
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah,
out,
who knows? So I said, can I talk to you for a minute? She said, yeah. And I dropped the boxes on her desk and I said, I'm hoping you'll take into consideration me graduating.
But she asked for those items, didn't she?
Well, she said that's what she needed.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
she's not going to
Right.
say it's
She didn't
exchange.
say like get the,
Yeah. She's
there
not
was no
gonna-
demands.
Yeah.
So I brought them in, dropped them. She said, well, thank you very much. And then a couple days later, I received word that I would be walking down, and capping
God,
down.
that's
I actually
amazing.
when I graduated, I wore a Freddy Krueger glove. And I held up, embarrassed my parents, like at graduation. I was really into Freddy, dude.
Help yourself, fuckers.
I was real into fucking Freddy Krueger.
Oh my God.
Yo, that's an incredible story. Just do that. Just that exchange. Like no words are really said, but I kind of want to get this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
put it out there, and she's fucking
Oh my
graduated.
God.
Yeah, dude.
So now you're like in the streets wilding. You graduated. You living at home and still partying, working at Crazy Eddie's after high
Are
school.
you doing any artwork?
Yeah, you
at
doing
the-
the artwork at that time?
I always did artwork, like I sketched and draw,
Okay.
but the partying was getting in the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? The partying was getting in the way. And then
Were you selling heavy drugs at that point too? Was just coke and weed, whatever?
coke, weed, shrooms,
Mm.
blotter, acid, acid you put in your eye, which was always fun, liquid, purple domes, micro,
What are purple domes?
like these little purple, like they look almost like an allergy pill.
Okay.
But they have like full acid in them,
You
and
heard of those, Derek?
No.
You ever done acid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're just filled
But
with
not that way.
psilocybin and shit,
So
Never
you-
shot drugs though.
Okay.
I want to be clear on that,
Well, you tried heroin before?
I snorted heroin, yeah.
Wow.
But if I had a
Crack?
bad reaction to, we'll
get to that.
we're gonna get into that because that was
Oh, man.
that's
So you're selling, you're working at Crazy Eddie's, just wilding out. That's it. That's your life at that point.
yeah. And then Crazy Eddie's closed down, and then
What year is that? You remember?
must have
been
been about
sad.
89, 90.
That was a sad moment.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Well, he could. I mean, the dude who owned the place, he got in a lot of trouble for stealing and being arrested and
Don't say.
stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Surprise.
I think he's like the only Israeli to ever get like, what do they call it, excavated or
Wow,
what?
true.
Yeah, extradited. Yeah,
Crazy Eddie's was legit, dude.
Oh, I had-
Yeah, he was.
It was a front. Maybe. Yeah.
He like said that his like inventory was worth way more, and then he sold it to somebody. Like it was like a whole bunch of shenanigans,
Damn.
Like that.
So what did you do in that one under? Just selling
Right
drugs.
No, I worked at a video store.
Okay.
Like I was at a video store, got fired from there.
Are you living at
because
home to what age?
I'm living at home until I'm 19.
Okay.
Okay, so 19 was a pivotal moment. That's when I had discovered like crack a little bit, a lot of pills, Valiums, and I had gone out one night. It was January 31st, 1989, and I went out with a bunch of friends of mine. One friend of mine, this guy Danny, who's no longer with us. He OD'd recently. And we did some things, some shenanigans with some women and stuff like that. And I was high as a kite, and I came home. And I had spent the night before. I actually had the first good night with my parents in a long time. Like we went out for dinner and stuff because I wasn't around, And I came home. My dad was acting kind of strange.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't know what was up. And I'm high as a kite. And my mom's like screaming, "What are we gonna do?" I said, "Mom, calm down." I called 911, and I'm high, and I start to try to give my dad CPR,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And it's not working. Finally, the ambulance gets there, and my mom was waiting for her sister, Aunt Ruthie, and I went with my dad in the ambulance, and we got to the hospital, and they could get his heart to work, but they couldn't get him to breathe.
Oh man.
When they got him to breathe, they couldn't get his heart to work, and then yeah, man, I watched him die in my arms,
Damn, man.
and
It's brutal, Joey. I'm sorry.
but
man.
nah, it's good, dude. It's cool. But the reality of it is I had to wait for my mom to get there, and I remember just feeling really angry, but I didn't care. What I cared about was calling my friend Bubba on the phone and getting me high with Xanax.
Wow, man.
And I disappeared for like 3 days, and I wasn't there to pick the casket out, for my mom. And, man, I was out there, you know what I mean? And,
How old are you then?
19.
Fuck, man.
My dad was 49, Simon.
So young, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was like my excuse, man. That was like
Right.
I was like fueled by anger and resentment. I didn't know where to take that. I didn't know what to do with it, and then that led on, to the harder drugs. Like crack cocaine. Like New Jack City had just come out,
Yeah.
Fuck,
and
man.
like I started smoking crack. Sold my comic book collection.
Oh shit.
Sold the bike my dad got. And then I started robbing my mom. And she sold the house, and she had a little bit of money, and she moved into this condo. And I manipulated her finances.
Oh
And
man.
I wind up, I came home one day, and the sheriff was there. And they said, "You got 10 minutes to get everything out." My mom had just furnished this place. And we went in, and I took my stuff, and I wound up leaving, and I moved in with my friend Chris. Right. And my mom was crying, and she was disappointed, and I had like stolen pretty much her whole entire life savings. And
Oh my god.
she moved in with her sister, and I was living in a basement. My friend's basement had like a boiler and shit, and I painted it. I painted an elephant on it, and I made it look like a jungle because in this phase of my life, I thought I was Indiana Jones, right? And I
don't want to laugh at anything. It's just so heavy.
No, you can listen, man. Rule 62: you can't take yourself too seriously. But this was my life. I I would invite girls to come back to this basement painted apartment, and they'd never call me again. I couldn't figure out why. you know what I mean? Like, because I was living in a basement, and then
oh my God,
I was doing art.
Are you making money from drug dealing?
No, I was my best customer. No, no, it was going.
You hire your own supply.
Yeah. I couldn't manage that, man. But like, I would get it in, and like I would go see my dealer, and my dealer was, he would always front me, and I always get paid back and stuff like that. But it got to a point where I wasn't going to him anymore. I was going to the corner. Like I was going down to like 5th and Luzerne,
sketchy
Hamburger Haven, where like you sometimes put your money out the window. They snatch that before you get anything. I was going in the crack houses, some like ones that would allow white and black people,
Right.
Holy shit.
I remember going in there one night and seeing they had the bootleg of Total Recall with Arnold on the big screen. Like it was awesome, but down like in North Philly, and then
these are dark times. The place you were going, dude.
Yeah. And then I started working at this place. The guy I was living with, he had a mattress company. Like they would sell beds.
Yeah.
Right. And so they trusted me. And they gave me a job, and I was selling beds, and I was working at Tower Records. Tower Records opened up in Philadelphia.
Nice.
And I was the store artist for the video
Oh,
department.
nice. Okay. So you're doing some art. Yeah.
So I'm doing some art, and I'm living. Actually, I was living with my mom upstairs of my aunt's house.
She let you back in
for a little bit. Yeah, they let me back in.
Wow.
But
your only son, dude. Of course, you know what I mean.
So it was a duplex. But what happened was, one morning when it was snowing out, Aunt Ruthie's husband, Bob, I used to call him the Duke, he came into at this point, also, I got to say,
I feel like crying and laughing on this podcast.
Wait, I feel like I'm bragging, but I had stolen my mother's wedding ring, and I pawned it, right? I feel like all this shit that I'm telling you is just like, it's like a bragging list of horrible stuff I did.
It's not.
But
this is your life, dude.
Really was terrible. It was just horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
I want to hug you and shake you right now.
So I remember my mom being in the next room crying. Like I had convinced her that the dog ate it, and they're checking the dog's poop. We had the Shar-Pei, the people downstairs had it. Just crazy shit. But anyway, I was selling weed, and the Duke came in, and he busted in the room. I was sleeping. I was like out of it. Like I wasn't, it was whatever. He found like a 1/4 pound of weed I had, and he came in while he fucking started hitting me with a frying pan over the head. Said, "Get out of my house! Get out of my house!" And I left the house with like a t-shirt on, a pair of pants, one sock, and I walked to Tower Records, which was about 3 miles away, and it was snowing out.
Oh my God.
Right. And I went there, and like I didn't know what to do, and I called my friend Chris at the time, and he let me move into that boiler room, the basement of his thing. That's how I got there. And then my family, they didn't really want too much, to do with me at that point. Because they had known that the Duke knew I was on drugs,
right.
But my mom was just like still in denial. You know what I mean?
Your baby, what's your son, dude? It's
and I was supposed to be the good kid.
Unconditional love, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. None of these yet have been your rock bottom.
No, we're getting there.
Really? I was waiting for the turnaround.
The wedding ring wasn't the rock bottom?
No, dude.
Okay,
so I started selling these mattresses, and then I would have these bed store parties, so it'd be like a Friday night, and I had keys. They trusted me, and I had keys to all these stores. So I would invite people to a store, a location that night, and we'd get cocaine and beer and stuff, and people would pay a fee to come in, and they'd party.
This is at the store you worked at?
This is at the store I worked at.
You opened up at night?
After hours, bro, right?
God.
Oh, my God.
Right? So my friends and I, we had the nickname the Sultan of Sleep, right? Because it was the beds, right? So we'd have these parties at the bed store, and then, people would do whatever they did on the mattresses, right? And then we'd end the party, right? Everybody had to leave. We'd have to clean up because I had to work there the next day,
Yeah.
right? But we'd flip the beds over and sell them.
Oh,
There was like no CSI, no DNA sampling at the time, But I
Siemens Furniture, yeah.
so there
So
was
how
there
long-
was actually a furniture store in Philly called Siemens.
I know. I got that from the Tribe Called Quest song.
Yeah.
Busting on your couch, and they got Siemens Furniture.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's rough. How long did that go before you got caught?
Well, what happened was I thought I was doing really well at that job. Like I used to wear a suit, right? And I used to wear these suits, like Armani suits, and I had a Nicole Miller X-Men tie. Like I thought I was really cool. You know what I
Damn.
mean? And one day they called me in, and I thought like I was getting a promotion.
Such
And it was-
denial. What you were fucking
Oh,
having parties?
delusional, right.
Delusional, yeah.
I thought nobody knew what was going on with me. Like I just was I was high.
How long did
the
those parties
time.
last? You think at the night parties?
Couple months, man.
Fuck.
And like
There's cameras in there and shit. Fucking
no, dude, it was like 1991
Okay.
or it was before Ring.
Yeah.
You
No
know?
phones, none of that shit.
There was an alarm, but
Okay.
that was it. And,
Yeah.
they didn't have anything like that.
Okay.
And no one's, whatever. So they called me into the office one day, and I thought I was getting a promotion, and they just said, they start pulling out all this paperwork. And they said, you've embezzled X amount of dollars. And I was embezzling like a lot of money.
Oh, you're embezzling there too.
Yeah.
Besides
Bro,
the bachelor's party.
I had a cocaine habit, bro.
I know.
I mean, it costs money. To
So
do
how do you
coke.
take your money from the register? Like,
No. Well, yeah, basically because like each store had its own like, drawer or safe, and I was responsible for making deposits and stuff. So I was robbing Peter to pay Paul and changing paperwork around and, not thinking they would ever catch up to me. Like I just thought I was above the law. It was
oh
like
my
crazy.
God, dude.
So they said, look, we have all this evidence against you and we're going to press charges. And I break down. I go, I have a problem with cocaine and you don't understand. And they said, we don't care. And I left. And I remember leaving there and I was upset, because I had to be upset for them.
Yeah.
And I went and got high and drunk
Right.
again, and I was waiting for them to catch up with me.
How long did you work there for, and how much money do you think you embezzled?
The last figure I heard, it was close to $90K.
Okay, and how long did you work there for?
About a year.
Okay.
Year and a half maybe. And everybody liked me. And I was a good
It's a lot for
salesman.
back then.
I was a good
Was anybody else getting money? You breaking people off, or just you? It was a solo mission.
It was
Okay.
a solo mission. I work alone, bro. Like Wolverine. I mean, I work alone,
So you just go get high and drunk after that. You fired. You get embezzlement charges. Whatever.
Yeah, and I was hanging out with people, but I mean that brought a tremendous amount of shame because there was a lot of people I had become friendly with, and the guy who I was living with at the time, it was his parents' business.
Ah, fuck.
It was like,
Oh, wow.
Dude.
going out in bullets and gun smoke. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was fucking like.
So you lose that spot where you live, eat fast, right? Once he finds out.
Yeah, but I think I had moved to Center City by that point because I kind of knew shit was going down, and I had moved in with this guy, and we weren't paying the rent at 2nd and South, right on South off of South.
Did you have any money at that time? All the money you took and it's gone.
All the money I'm taking, it's going up my nose.
Wow, dude.
I'm being a big.
Do you have a nice
shot
car or
around
anything,
town.
or?
No. I mean, I had a nice car years before that, and then it just like the only way that I can explain my life was like I got a great handful of sand. And like when sand just kind of like go, it just eventually falls out. That's what had happened. And things were happening like that. And then we're getting to the bottom. So my family had like a
Oh man.
they had one of these Jewish dinners, one of the holidays, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't into it, but they invited me, my cousin Bonnie, right? Who introduced me to all the music and all, and she was cool when I was younger. So she had met this guy, he was really cool, and they bought a house and it was really nice, and I needed money because at this point like the habit was real bad. They didn't know what was going on. So I was pulling a big heist. I was going to steal silverware from them.
From them.
From them, from
Expensive
the family.
silverware, yeah,
Expensive
yeah.
silverware because you could get money for that, So I go in the house on the and I'm wearing a long black trench, like Neo from The Matrix, right? And
I would laugh. He's about to rob his relatives.
wait.
dude.
So I go in there. Are you ready?
You're
So-
living like a fucking fantasy superhero, man.
out there, man,
Wow.
out there, right? So we're getting ready for dinner and all. I start like I'm going around the house putting stuff in my
They're
jacket.
there.
They're there. I sit down.
Are you high too, probably?
Oh, blasted. I'm popping pills. I'm like doing meth, whatever. But like I'm there physically, but I'm not there. I'm on a mission. You know what I mean? And I go I eat dinner, whatever I could eat. I go into the next room and then I come out and I'm like, all right, it's time for me to go because my pockets are loaded. And now look, I don't come from like an intimate family. There was no hugging. I didn't
Right.
grow up with that. But Aunt Ruthie walks me to the door and she's like, it was great to see you, Joey. Give me a hug. So she goes and hugs me and all the silverware pours out. Like my jacket rips and it pours out in front of her. And she looks at me like, and I could just see the disappointment in her eyes. And I look at her and then my family starts coming in from the other room. Right. And they're all looking at me and there's
And they
like,
know you have a problem with drugs, obviously. They know.
at this point, I would assume
Right.
to say yes, and there's stuff all over the floor. And I look at Aunt Ruthie and she looks at me. I said, how did that get there? Right. And I'm like, I've been set up. Someone, you know what I mean? Like I want to try to talk my way out of it. So my cousin Bonnie and her new husband David say, oh, this is horrible. And they go in the next room and they leave me with my mom for a few minutes. Right. They come back and they say, listen, you got to get out of here right now. We're calling the cops. We're getting a restraining order against you. We've had it.
Right.
And I looked at my mother and I said to my mom, this is a setup. You got to understand. I'm not like this and all. And I could see it in my mom's eyes. She was done. She was
Yeah.
done.
Checked out, done with this. Yeah.
She looked at me and she said to me, you killed your father. Get out.
Holy fuck.
And I got out, man. And then like
That was the moment.
I just left, and then I really went into like the carpool lane of addiction, man. Like I wound up becoming homeless, where I was calling Aunt, like the family wanted nothing to do with me. Like I wasn't allowed. Like I would call my mom, she would just hang up immediately. But Aunt Ruthie, my mom's sister, who I thought I had a better relationship with, I call her and tell her I'm hungry, right? And she would say, well, come to the house and go out back.
Wow.
And I'd go out back in these bushes, and they had a dog, this black lab, and she would pretend that she was cooking ground beef for the dog, and she would bring me out a bowl of food and leave it there.
Shout out to her, man.
And
Wow,
yeah.
dude.
And I would come up to the thing and I grab this bowl of food and I would eat it, and like that was okay. You know what I mean? Like that's what became like that was okay, because at this point all I needed to do was just get high.
And it wasn't even rock bottom yet.
And no. So I wound up on streets of Center City, Philly, 13th and Spruce. And
Living in a box, and you would take the box down during the day or something like that.
Yeah. I got a 27-inch Sony television box. Like it was a flat screen. It was not the flat screens we have now. Remember when it was a flat screen and then it was real?
Yeah.
They weighed like 250. So it was a pretty big box, but I'm a little dude, But yeah, I was on the side of a church, and I would fold it up at night. I fold it up during the day, and I'd go out and I'd scam people during the day, like telling them like, oh, I can't pay for the parking meter. You got a quarter on you. You got this on you. And I would run into people from my past that were like, they had lives because they were working in the city. I'm like, they would like say, how are you doing? And they could look at me, you know? And I was like, yeah, everything's great. I got it going on and shit.
How old are you then?
I'm like 22.
Okay.
God,
22. Right. So like, yeah, when I got the restraining order against me, that was like when I was 20. So I didn't talk to my family for a few years, even when I got sober, but they didn't have anything to do with me. But I would see people having they would say that, yeah, we just had our first kid. I'm working here. And I would wish like instant death on them because I had no idea how to do life. And I'm stuck in this addiction. I don't know how to ask for help. I don't know about programs. I got it figured out. I really am like a lone wolf,
Yeah.
And, man, I was on the street. I was doing anything for what I could for a drink, or a drug. And then I ran into a friend of mine, Matt. And Matt, he looked at me. He was 6 months clean. And him and we used to deal codeine, and we used to do a lot of destruction and do all kinds of stuff. Matt's my boy. And he said, yo, man, you need to get to a meeting. And I'm like, meeting? What are you talking about, dude? He's like, trust me. Go to a meeting. You need it. You'll get to share. And I know you'll like to share. And I was like, I'm not going, dude. And I was like afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid to go get any type of help. Now, I was never afraid to rob a video store or go into a crack house.
Yeah.
But I was afraid to go to a 12-step meeting.
Yeah, it's like the end of.
Talk about yourself and your feelings, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well,
dude.
I didn't even know that that's what that was.
Yeah.
I thought like I was getting like in trouble,
Yeah.
So his mother wind up meeting me the next night, and she took me to my first meeting.
Damn.
And she was like real helpful, and I went into this meeting, and man, like it was like a weird experience. And but it was the.
Did you talk at the first meeting at all or no?
Well, they ask you if you're new.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. For as soon as I walked in, there was a guy as big as you in a leather jacket who hugged me, and I told you I'm not about
Right.
hugging.
Yeah.
I'm like, here we go. So I sit down. They ask you who's new. So I raised my hand. It said I was new. Didn't know anything else what to say at that point. They gave me a chip. And people kept talking to me and all. That's really all I remember. But the dude who was running the meeting, he looked like Hans Gruber from Die Hard, the villain. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever, but I felt like I fit in.
But also you felt seen too. People were actually talking to you. Because otherwise you're like a homeless guy. Asking, what I'm saying? You're in a meeting. People
I was so messed up.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even tell you. Like if you asked me how I felt, I would just say like, yeah, man. Like, because I couldn't tell you how I felt.
Right.
Like, I had turned off my feelings,
Right.
So much. I didn't know. So then I wound up going back the next night, and
Were you sober when you went back, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
were. Okay.
Yeah, and what's wild is the next night, this guy Matt and he met up with me because I was like, I told people I would go to the meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Strangers. I said, yeah, I'll be there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then I told Matt, I said, hey, Matt, I promise these people. All of a sudden, I'm a man of my word. I got
Right.
these people don't know me, I
Yeah.
told them I would be there. So I think Matt picked me up, or I met him or something, and we went to this place. It's called Belmont Plateau. It's like Mulholland Drive. Like you would go there to make out. It overlooks the city.
Yeah.
And him and I are hanging out, and because we were early, and these like guys pulled up in these Jeeps, and they're blasting like Cypress Hill, House of Pain, and they get out of the car, and they got Philly Blunts. Philly Blunts had just hit,
Yeah.
and the 20-ounce Budweisers, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
get out, they crack them open, and Matt's with me, and Matt's like 6 months clean, right? And the dude cracks it open, he's got a blunt, and he hands it to Matt. And I said to Matt, I don't think we're supposed to do this, right? Like I'm sober like fucking hours, right? And he goes, no, man, it's cool. We do that. And he drinks the beer down, and he takes a hit of the blunt.
What?
Right? Yeah. True story, right? I'm going to tell you what happened to Matt, because Matt's still my boy, right? So I said, Matt, like, you got to take me to that meeting. I promise these people. Like, but I it wasn't that I promised these people. I really felt like maybe some hope. I might have been
Yeah.
installed with a
Right.
little, like maybe
Totally.
this is. So he took me to the meeting, and he sits down next to me, and they asked him to read.
Oh boy.
And the meeting starts, and they said, Matt, and I looked over, he left. And I'm stuck in this meeting, man. And like, I got the message that night though. Some Vietnam veteran shared. And I didn't think I was going to have anything in common with this dude. And he shared about like being in a huge room, but still feeling alone. Going up an escalator, and the person in front of you wasn't moving as fast as you'd like, so you would want to take a baseball bat and just bash their fucking brains in. I was like, I get that, man.
Fuck.
And then people just, they gave me their numbers, and they really were instrumental to me. They took me and bought me food. I had no money for food. There was no cell phones.
Yeah.
Right.
People would give me like a quarter, and they'd say, if you call me, I'll meet you at a meeting and buy you a meal. And like,
Fuck
I
yeah.
wanted the meal more than I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
hang
yeah.
with them or go to a meeting.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
You're still homeless at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would leave the meeting and go home to a box.
Right.
It was like that. Like, and that was, for about a month into it. You know, like I would still just, you know, so I met a guy and he started helping me along the way. And he said, you got to get a job, man. Like, you know, you need to get out of this situation. So I got a job at an art supply store. And, you know, that's like from there.
I know it's art supply manager became. Yeah.
Well, I started out of sales.
Yeah.
There was a small.
Came up, bro.
You know, because I'm a good employee. I'm very passionate. And
especially art too. This is gonna be good for you, yeah.
And I used to buy supplies. This was a small store in Philadelphia, and like, you know, man, he told me I had to put my recovery first. So I would go to like a meeting early in the morning, go to work, go to a meeting at lunch, then I go to meetings at night.
Damn.
And I'd go home to my box, you know. But then eventually, because I was working, I got like a hotel room, like in like the shady part of town, man, right, where like they rented out by the hour, and like I was like the only, like, I think I paid daily or like every 3 days. And I remember, man, one night like some shit was going down. I heard screaming and all this stuff, so I put my bed up against the door. Now the way that I think is not, you know, logical. I'm not that smart, so I put my bed up against the door, and I hear all this like shit. And they're raiding rooms, right? So I think that I'm going to be able to, you know, hold the door off if something goes down. The door opens up. So like I'm sleeping and it's like the hotel manager with the cops, and they just opened the door right up on me. And I was a nervous wreck. Like I had to get out of there. So
what were they raiding the rooms for? Just checking out for drugs?
Well, it was one of those places.
Yeah.
You know, when I say they rent it by the hour, there's a lot of all kinds of business going on there.
Did you get fucked with living in the streets in your box too? Like, was that a safe area where you slept in? Did you move around? Did you move around?
No, not really. I kind of stayed, like I kind of camouflaged it, you know, like, no one really, but there was a couple other people there, but like I was always cool, you know. Like,
did you get real sleeping in the streets like that? Like you up all night?
Well, it was like, so it wasn't like on a sidewalk.
Okay.
It was like in the middle of the block. There was a bunch of trees around. Okay. There was a church next to it. There was a street corner, like right on the corner, but there was a fence.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like hidden back in there. You know, every once in a while someone would walk by and I would like get up or something, you know, but like half of the time though, like, well, when I was high, I was just knocked out.
Oh, that's true.
So it didn't matter.
True, yeah.
But when I got sober and I would come home, I feel like going out because the corner was right there to get drugs.
Yeah.
So I just really had to like
knuckle
through it, man. You know, couldn't read, you know, unless I had a flashlight, but I didn't have anything. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Wow.
And so how long you end up staying in the streets like that for? Like how long?
I would probably say it was maybe like 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. It wasn't like a long run, but
it was long
was
enough, dude.
Yeah, and it was the summer.
Yeah.
You know, so like, you know, there was like showers were few and far between, you know.
Right.
And even when I get a shower, I still felt filthy dirty because of all the shit I was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in summers they're brutal. So you leave that hotel, the hourly one, and go somewhere else after that? It gets raided?
No. I once I got out of there, I moved in with a couple guys that were also in this, you know, program that I was going, fellowship that I was going to, and we shared. Like I had like a small room, but it was like a legit place, you know, and I was working. You know.
So now you're just sober at this point.
Yeah.
Not fucking up, none of that shit.
No relapse.
No. Yeah,
right.
so that was, I came in July 17th, 93, and I haven't checked out one time at all. So I had continuous.
Dude, I'm fucking clapping for that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucking amazing.
I don't know why. You know, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But I think I was just beat up so much, and I really believe that there was another way. You know what I mean? Like, because I started, because like you start to see like good shit starts happening to you.
Right.
But I never placed the, you know, the thought that like, well, maybe my addiction had something to do with all this other shit.
Right.
You know?
Sure.
And then, you know, like I was getting opportunities. And I think when people see you clean your shit up, like you get rewarded for it, you know?
For sure.
And, like I was working at the
art supply store.
Art supply store, yeah. And like comic book artists that I admired were coming in there. They would let me do like jobs, like working on like comic book stuff, like behind the scenes stuff. And that was like my all-time dream.
For sure.
And then like you know, I started getting into illustration, you know, doing artwork, and there was a local Philly paper called the Philadelphia Weekly, and I got to know the art director a little bit, and I gave her my portfolio, and one day she called me up on the phone when the O.J. Simpson trial when the verdict was announced. And she said, I'm stuck. I need a drawing of OJ for the paper tomorrow. You think you can do it? Right? And I was like, juice, right? So I went home and I stayed up all night. And this is like, she left me a voicemail.
Yeah.
That I would have to call home and press this like thing into the phone that would go wee to hear the messages back. Do you remember before you could even type in a code,
Yeah.
So I called her. I said, I think her name was Jill. And I said, I'll get this done. Cause this is like my first break.
Crazy,
I'm
dude.
sober. I'm hungry. I'm like, I'll do it. So I did this pen and ink illustration of OJ's face. Half of his side was black and half of it was white because we didn't know which way it was going to go. Like I had to think of something, and I gave it to her. It hit, and it wound up doing really well for them. And they wound up hiring me, and I did a bunch of portraits. Like
incredible, dude.
Like while I worked at the art supply store, so that like kicked off my illustration career.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, man.
That's incredible.
So you start making side money doing that, get your name out there.
Yeah, and then other people were hiring me for some art jobs, like. One time a law firm reached out to me. They needed, it was brutal. His family got killed on this vacation in Alaska. And they needed me to make like a courtroom poster of the family and some storyboards. And I needed the money to take a trip. And it just happened to come through. And I wound up doing these really morbid drawings, but they got it all. I was getting jobs like that.
Yeah.
And then eventually got bigger jobs and stuff like that.
How long did you stay at the art store for?
Well, that particular one, I was there for about 2 years.
Did you manage like a wrestler too or something?
Well, we'll get into that, bro. So I was at that art supply store, and then I went to the Four Seasons Hotel.
Oh, wow.
And I was an overnight bellman concierge, right? And it was...
How are you getting these jobs?
Bro, it's crazy.
Well, because I was staying sober, and like I had a good rep at this point. But I was also facing jail time. Because the mattress police were coming for me.
He was also this too.
Right.
It's coming up, a butcher apprentice too. Okay.
So
they were
that
still,
was early on, dude.
They were still pushing. For that.
So 9 months when I was at the art supply store,
You're
I got
I'm
the call.
Sober. You're like...
No. So they called me and they said, yo, you got to come in. We want to talk to you. And I was like...
9 months out. Okay, yeah.
And my life had finally, it was real simple. I was going to meetings. I was going to the art supply store. I was living in a room.
New life, dude.
Yeah. And they called. They said, we want to, you got to come in. We want to talk about restitution or you going to jail. And I was just like, holy shit, man. So I talked to a couple of my new friends that had common sense, that were sober. And, they said, you got to go and talk to them. Mm-hmm. So I went in and talked to them. And they said, we've been keeping our eye on you. And we know that you're clean and sober for 9 months. Wow. And I said, yeah. I was real proud of it. I showed them my coin.
Fuck
yeah. And
they're like,
and I'm like,
this coin's not enough, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah. I'm just waiting for the hammer to come down. And they said, well, look, you stole a lot of money from us, but you also made us a lot of money. So we want to know if you want your job back.
What? No way.
In what life does this happen to?
And you can make restitution, by that way.
I see.
And and I said, well, what if I don't? And they said, well, then we can't determine that. Like, you know what I mean? We're going to probably press charges. And I said, all right, well, can I think about it? Right? And it wasn't like in a cocky way. It was like what you had just said, Toby. It was a new life.
Yeah.
And I had so much shame and guilt and remorse. Like if I went back there, I knew within days I would be getting high again. Like I knew it. I went back, I talked to my new friends, and they said, well, you need to put your sobriety first above anything. Because if you don't have that, you're not going to have anything. And I called them and I said, listen, man, I really appreciate it. If there's another way we can work it out, let's do it. But I can't take that offer, And I wound up, they sold the company.
Okay.
And
did you put them out of business? No.
No. The mattress business is very lucrative. They make lots of money. And I wasn't able to make the amends to them directly financially, but through the years, considering that amount and all the shit that I did, I've reached out to other organizations, charitable, people that need help, and I try to pay it forward.
Amazing, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
man.
they didn't want, but like,
So you never got prosecuted, nothing for that?
No.
Wow.
It was like, I mean, it was a break and a half. And I speak to the guy whose parents owned it. Now he owns it.
Yeah.
And we speak regularly.
Oh, so it's still around. He owns it still.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I made amends to him, and he said to me, "Just stay sober, man."
That's incredible,
really,
man.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was a blessing, man.
I was going to say,
100%.
I was going to say, if you went back, could you have saved the company because you were such a good salesman? You never know, though.
You know what, man? I don't want to know. I'm just so grateful that they took pity on me, man, and they let me go, man. I
respect that decision, like going back to the past, like a dark time, like it could have triggered you easily, dude, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I was too fresh. Like 9 months, it's a lot of time to be proud of, but like it was still fresh. I mean, I was thinking about that every day. I still talking to you about it.
Yeah.
It's like still in my mind. You know what I mean?
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And how long was it before you reconnected or connected with
your family?
family?
I was going to say that. Yeah, it's a great one.
So
how many months?
What had happened was in 2 years, when I had 2 years of being clean, I came to San Diego. I had never traveled really outside, the Philly, New York.
It's a big world
I've
out
been to New
there.
York or Trenton, Trenton. I used to get a good crack in Trenton. City Gardens. You ever City Gardens?
Come on,
dude?
bro, of course.
I used to see the Ramones there all the time.
Did you ever end up in Newark getting some shit probably too back in the day?
Oh yeah,
dude.
I actually have a really good Newark story, sober, when I had the Wolverine chops and the jackets and all, but that's a long way down. Yeah, man. New Hope. You ever go to New Hope? That was, I hung out there too.
So your family, yeah.
Yeah. So, man, 2 years went by, and I just told you about that job with the law firm.
Yeah.
And I needed money, and the money was to go to a world convention of the fellowship that I'm in. Right.
Okay.
And it was out in San Diego. It was at Jack Murphy Stadium. And I went out there because people told me, like, you can't afford to miss it, man. And I went out there. I got really connected. And it was the first time I ever really felt part of this fellowship. Like the first 2 years, I was clean and sober, but I didn't really feel like I still felt like getting high, but I just kept going and I didn't feel part. That convention made me feel really, really part of. And when I got back a week later, like my mom called me out of the blue. Because I used to call my mom and say, "Mom, I'm sober 6 months." She'd say, "Fuck you."
Right.
"Mom, I'm sober 9 months." Liar.
Right.
Wow.
And she called me and we reconnected again. And then we started to build up a relationship. And, I got my other family back, Bonnie and David.
Yes.
I actually went when their first kid was born. I went to the hospital. I was there for like his bar mitzvah.
Amazing.
They became really friendly with my friends, and they would have us at their shore house in Atlantic City.
Nice.
And things got better. My relationship with my mom was always kind of tough because I let my mom down a lot, even though I was sober.
Yeah.
In sobriety, like, they say the road to hell is paved in good intentions.
Yeah.
And I would promise I wanted my mom to be proud of me, and I would promise her shit. Like I could help her with this and that.
Once you got sober, you mean?
Once I got sober, and then I would just disappear and lie,
Still, okay.
So it's like, because I didn't really like have a program or a design for living in my life.
Okay.
I was just like, I was staying sober, but I was still a horse thief. You know what I mean? I robbed the art stores I worked at. I'm not proud of that.
Wow.
My relationships with women were insane. Like I was incapable of being in a relationship. Like I learned how to be in a relationship by watching John Hughes movies and porn.
Gotcha.
That's how I learned.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's how I thought you treated women.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get entangled from one relationship to another, sometimes 2 or 3 at a time. And like, I was like a villain. You know what I mean? And it was horrible because no one showed me how like important it was to have like an epic woman, one woman in your corner.
Also love too. Like,
And love.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to give or receive love.
Totally.
I didn't understand love.
Or maybe feel like you were worthy of it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
had no self-esteem. It wasn't
Yeah.
low. It was none.
Yeah.
And the only way that I could feel better was by acting out like that in relationships and stuff. And, you know, I sought help in that area and cleaned all that up, you know, because I didn't know how to do that. Like, I would have friends in Philly that would co-sign my bullshit, you know, with everything. Like, yeah, I'm dating this girl, but I like this other one. It's okay, man. You're not married, you know?
Yeah.
These are the same guys, like, where I'm sitting on a corner, you know, smoking crack with. Like, but I can't, like, be like, yo, dude, my feelings got hurt today.
Yeah.
You know, like, they ain't going to listen to that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these were guys that were, you know, sober, but like they were just still you know, and that's like a big thing. Like, so I hit an emotional bottom with that, you know, at 14 years, you know, but there was a lot, you know, of like sneaky shit, like between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 6 a.m. Like, I was like a villain, you know, and bragging to everybody of how sober I was. But, you know, I was, you know what I mean? Like, that's the reality, and it was hurting me.
And that's interesting because you can't blame the addiction on why you were stealing and why you were doing this crazy things just to get high, because you always were stealing things before and after sobriety. You know what I'm saying?
I was always stealing.
Yeah, the problem really sounds like it really wasn't. I mean, I think, I don't know.
Just
I'm not an
help
expert.
it.
Like, a lot of the problem
is me.
It's
me.
not the drugs.
Yeah.
It's not drugs.
That's just
you.
the symptom. All of those things that we talk about are just a symptom of the disease, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it took a long time for me to learn that. You know, I'm not a fast learner, and I've made a ton of fucking mistakes.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's amazing you hear to tell the stories, though, man. Fuck.
Yeah. You know, but the one good thing is, like, I never went back to the main thing, the drugs and the alcohol.
For sure, man. It's incredible, man.
Because that just, you know, that's just the thing, and I've managed to stick it out. But there was a lot of pain in there, you know.
So after the art supply store, are you still doing art?
Well, I go to the Four Seasons.
Yeah, Four Seasons.
And Four Seasons Hotel was cool, and they actually had me doing artwork too. They loved me. I drew like the newsletter and all for them, and
that's cool.
That was a job. When I quit, they would call me every couple of years and ask me if I wanted to come back. They liked me too,
wow.
right?
Everybody always wanted you back.
Yeah,
man.
I'm fun, man. Right?
Embezzlement or not, you're calling me back. Good personality,
So
hard worker.
I got another job, and Pearl Paint came to Philly.
Oh, wow.
You know,
I remember Pearl Paint.
So I started working for them, and that's where I became like the assistant manager, and then I was the manager, and then I started my own house painting, faux finishing business.
Yep, house painting. Yep.
You know?
I remember when Pearl Paint came to Canal Street.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal having a paint
huge.
store in Manhattan. I would never forget that.
I'll never forget it.
Fuck.
That's right.
It was the best. Man.
Okay.
You know,
Pearl Paint's still around, right?
Is it?
No, they went out, man.
Damn.
Some type of embezzlement thing. Not me. No, the owners, they were sending cash in the mail or something.
This is 3 places that Joey worked at that all went under after, though.
See, that's like, I know where to find, you know, my people.
All right, so you worked at Pearl Paint for a while, yeah.
And while I worked at Pearl, you brought up wrestling. I got real into wrestling, right?
Okay.
And then I got involved in the local, Philly wrestling scene. And I had this gimmick because I had the mutton chops and the hair, and I was Joey F. the Badger, and I was like a takeoff on Wolverine. Yeah, but I was a manager.
Oh, you weren't wrestling though? Okay,
no, I wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like
it'd be sick to see you wrestle though.
Well, I was in the ring. I used to have like a talk show called The Badger's Den. It was like based off of Rowdy Roddy Piper's thing. You know, I loved Rowdy Roddy Piper. You know, and he would just start shit, and I'm good at starting shit, and I'm good at starting shit with really big dudes that can throw me off balconies and kick me and stuff, and it looks just like great on TV and stuff like that. So
where did that live on? Like local television? Like with no YouTube back then?
Yeah, it was like they
Cable
filmed
television?
it a lot,
Okay.
but it was like, there was local, like Bay Ragney, who was one of the Dudley brothers, Chubby Dudley. He gave me my break.
Keep talking to him, yeah.
Yeah, so he gave me my break. He had started a Liberty All-Star Wrestling, and he used to do a radio show. I'd sometimes go on the radio show with him, but... and then I had a friend. You might actually know this guy, Toby. He was a tattoo artist, and he was in a band called Rancid, Rancid Vat. Rancid Vat.
Rancid.
You ever hear of Rancid Vat?
No.
Cosmo, the Cosmic Commander of Wrestling.
No, man. What year is
it? Was
it?
like
Early-
a hardcore band. Like, he was from San Francisco, and then he had a tattoo shop in Philly. He was a good friend of mine. He passed away.
Okay.
But he would do wrestling on the side gig. He was the Cosmic Commander. His name was Howard. But I did an album cover for them where it was like
was this one of your first album covers you designed?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
one. Yeah, it
Okay.
was that. What's that one where Christ is on the table? The Last
Supper. Yeah.
Last
yeah,
Supper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did him, and he's got his wrestling gear on and stuff like that. But he was a real big inspiration to me in that. And yeah, I did the wrestling thing for a few years sober, and it was awesome. But like I was breaking ribs and fingers, and like I wasn't really getting paid, and it took a toll on me. And then I wanted to pursue my art seriously more, you know. But it was fun because I was a heel, you know. I was a villain.
Yeah.
I would come out, I'd bring like Lysol, and I'd spray the fans and say, "You stink, get out of my way," you know. I'll slap the taste out of your mouth, you know. And I'm 5'3", dude.
How old are you then?
I'm in my 30s.
Wow.
But I'm
Holy
having a blast, dude. I mean, I'm being a real live comic book villain, you know, wearing outfits with paisley and purple iridescent. It's awesome, you know.
And you still doing art as you're doing that too on the side?
Yeah. I'm always doing art, man.
Yeah.
Like always drawing or sketching. And, you know, that was a weird time because in 2008, like Photoshop hit big.
Okay.
And illustration and graphic design jobs were kind of like fading away a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, rates were going down and I wasn't getting as many of those jobs. So I had the painting business and I was working at Pearl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, 2008 was later on, but, you know, like up until about 2006 is when I still worked at the art supply store and I had my own painting business.
Were you a butcher's apprentice when you weren't sober?
What? Yeah. No, I was. I would
Be high cutting up meat?
during high school. This was fucking horrible, man. I would get home from, you know, I needed to make money. I've been working since I'm like 11.
Yeah.
You know, I'd come home, I'd get like a little nap after dealing with high school, you know, I couldn't stand it. And I'd go to this place, man, at the Philmont Shopping Center. I'd have to put this apron on. And I worked for this guy. He was a real piece of work. And, like, he'd show me how, like, I had to clean all these machines that they would grind meat in. Like, then I'd have to chop chickens up. And it would be like a 2 or 3 hour job every day after school, like 6 days a week, just cleaning all these butcher machines, man.
Was it pretty gnarly? Even if, yeah.
Oh, I hated it, but I couldn't stand the guy. Like, he
Must
was
have smelled bad too and all that.
Oh, and then people would come in who I knew and they'd see me working. Like, you know, I was like, had my apron on. I probably looked like, you know,
covered in blood.
Deformed leather face.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. You know, blood on me. And like, I wasn't good with these big machines and stuff like that. I just, I dread. I was a bus boy. I've done everything.
Yeah, you've done a lot of jobs, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. So now we're at Pearl Paint and you're doing your own painting business and then you start making money. When do you start actually making money off your art?
Well,
like where it becomes a full-time thing. Well, that's not till later, but kind of.
So, yeah, I mean,
how you end up in California too.
I always tried to make it full time, but I didn't have the discipline, I guess, but also there was bills that needed to be paid. So I started like a decorative painting company, which is like faux finishing. My father was a house painter.
Okay.
So he taught me how to paint houses and, you know, and in Philly I had, that's where we're at. We're still in Philly. And I had this like house painting business where we would do like decorative finishes, like Venetian plaster, wall glazing, and all, some high end stuff.
Yeah.
And restaurants, pretty big restaurants used to use me. This number one restaurant in the country at the time, Vetri, this Italian joint, used me. And the guy, the owner, he was awesome. You know, and places started using me and I had a crew.
Yeah.
And, you know, but that, like, I didn't know how to manage a business. And contracting is a tough business to be in, man. You know, like, you go to people's houses, you got to be respectful. They give you a deposit. If they don't like the work, they're not giving you the rest. And then you got payroll.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of responsibility.
And that's what I think, you know, my father, like, you know, he was trying to do that too. And I think that took a toll on his stress level because I got a taste of that. There's nothing worse on a Thursday night. You wake up at like midnight and you got no money in the bank and you got 3 dudes you got to pay who have, and they all each have families. And you owe them a week's worth of salary. You know, it's a horrible business.
It's a lot, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to really know. And I was not good with, you know, managing funds and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't stealing.
Yeah.
You know, because it was myself, but I was paying my bills first.
Robbing yourself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So how do you get to like doing the art then? And then what's after that and how you end up in California?
So here's how I wound up in California. So the painting business like took its toll on
Yeah.
me. And I told you I wasn't doing the right thing with relationships.
Yeah.
I was lying to my friends, just sneaky behavior and all that shit. And I hit this like emotional bottom. And I was like thinking of either killing myself, drinking or using drugs, or finally asking somebody in the program to help me. Right. And I went to they call him a sponsor.
Yeah, for
my
sure.
guy,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I went to him and I said, hey, man, this is what I've been doing. And he said, you've been lying to me. I can't help you.
Wow.
Right? And I said, what? Like, I'm going to fucking kill myself here. He said, why don't you go to my guy and he'll help you because you've been lying to me the whole time. So I met with his dude and I wind up finally like breaking down and doing the program.
Gotcha.
Not doing Joey's program. Like,
yeah.
There's like these 12 things we do, right? I was not doing them all. You know, there was a couple I was better at than others, but the other ones I was like, that's not for me. And that's not how it works, and I really was going to kill myself or get high.
Damn.
So, but doing those 12 things sounded worse. And you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So I wound up doing them. And I had this, I had broken out of this, spiritual prison I was in. And I said, you know what? I caused all this wreckage in Philly. I need to do something with my life. I ran into somebody who moved to L.A. from Philly, and she was like, you should move out there. And I always wanted to come to L.A.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I was just always attracted to Los Angeles. You know what I mean?
Have you never been there before you moved here?
Never been here.
Wow.
Right? So, I came out and visited, right? Because I had decided that I may want to move. So this gal let me come out. I stayed on her couch. I went to dinner and I was here for 9 days. It was during my birthday week.
Okay.
And I came out here and I was like, I got to move here. This is
best kept secret.
I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
What was I thinking all my life? I remember I would go to therapy and I would tell my therapist, one day I'm going to get out to LA. I didn't know why, but I was always into movies, all that shit, But
you were in therapy. You had a therapist.
I used to go to to therapy. Yeah. I have many therapists.
Right.
They don't work. I mean, not on me.
Starting at what age you go to therapy?
Well, the first time I went was probably around 8 or 9.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because my mom's motto for me was, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the neighborhood families, the teachers, what is wrong with? That's all I heard.
Yeah.
I'd go to therapy and all, but I would smoke a joint before I'd go into therapy.
Right.
And they knew.
Yeah.
So, so I visited out here. I said I liked everything. I moved back to Philly, and I sold everything that I had. I walked around my house. Somebody told me, one of these Reiki gals, they said, touch everything in your house, and if it doesn't feel right, sell it, right? So I put on Craigslist, I'm having a sale. I've had a spiritual awakening. I'm leaving, and I made a bunch of money.
Damn.
And I was also collecting Bono sunglasses at the time. I loved Bono. So anytime he wore a pair of sunglasses, I would have to get that pair. And they were pretty expensive.
That's a crazy collection.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had this badass collection and I put it up on eBay. And as I moved here, because when I moved here, I sold everything. I had 13 boxes. And I shipped them from UPS to California. And I took a flight, and that's how I got here. But I put my Bono glasses on eBay, and as I was moving, people would buy them on eBay.
Yeah.
And they would go on my PayPal debit card at the time, and that's
I
how
have one of those,
and that's how I afforded to move to LA. And bought a car for $1,200, this '89 Honda. It had 190,000 miles on it.
Perfect.
I started going to meetings out here.
Yeah.
I'd make that priority. I met people, hooked up with, just started meeting people.
Yeah.
And getting involved. And I went on Craigslist and started doing odd jobs. I got a job. I was changing bank signs, Chase Bank bought American Bank or some shit. I would go there. I was scrubbing toilets.
Damn.
I was doing, because I loved Los Angeles so much. I was I wanted to stay.
What area did you move to the first time? Where'd you live?
Well, I first lived in the Valley for a week with this girl.
Yeah.
And this girl, nice. I'm nothing against her. We weren't romantically involved or anything, but it was like living with my mother, dude. I wound up just taking out a couple hundreds, leaving them there and saying, here's some money. Thank you so much. And I moved out and I moved in with some dude who I met in the program. And I moved in with this guy, and like I would mention his name and be like, oh yeah. And no one would say anything. I move in with this guy.
In Hollywood?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Off of Melrose.
Yeah.
And he's insane. Like, I mean, he comes, I go food shopping, I come home, he's grinding up all my food in a blender and eating it.
What?
And then he comes home one day, he buys like a sofa, and he's like, you owe me half for that. If you're living here, you got to pay for half my furniture, right?
What?
And he just was like crazy, and I just left him a bunch of money, moved out, and then he started threatening me. He actually sued me. He took me to court.
Oh my God.
For the couch?
He told me I like we didn't have any lease or anything like that. I left him more than enough, wrote him a check and documented it, and he wound up suing me, and he took me to court. And when we went to court, right?
Nobody warned you. This is like, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
should've
No one.
warned you.
Afterwards, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, man, that guy is no good." And I'm like, "Oh well, thanks." You know?
I just went to court.
Yeah. So I wound up getting like a studio apartment. It was like $900 a month. The corner of like Wilshire and San Vicente, where Big Five is.
Yeah.
But I just saw they knocked Big Five down.
It's gone?
Yeah, it's going to
fuck.
be a big thing. But right next to it was this little building. I had a studio, not much bigger than where we are right now.
Yeah.
And I lived there, and I just would work every day. And then I started a house painting business.
Out here. Okay,
Got a couple breaks, started doing restaurants, bringing in money that way.
Going to meetings, staying sober, all
just
that stuff. Yeah.
meeting new people and stuff like that. And, and then I started with the art. Like I was always drawing, but I wasn't really like pursuing it. Mm-hmm. And then, I met my wife. I met my girlfriend.
How'd you guys meet?
Depending on who you talk to, I'll tell you the story. So I moved here, and I became friends with some people. And do you remember that show, Californication, with David Duchovny?
Yes. Yeah.
I loved it, right?
Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine, Dawn, who I met out here. She was a body double on the show, right? And she said, yeah, they're having the rap party. Right? Do you want to come and be my guest? I know you love that show. And at the time when I had hair, I looked a little bit like David Duchovny, even though they tell me I look more like Richard Gere, But
oh shit, I do see Richard Gere.
if he ate a lot of donuts,
Oh
right?
my God, I see your face though. Oh shit. Okay, go ahead.
So I said, yeah, I want to go, man. When you're in Hollywood, you see stars and celebrities. You just get that excited. So she took me to the closing party, and it was on the set. And I saw David Duchovny, I saw the other guy and all. So I go up into the room, and she took some pictures of me in like his bedroom, and
Sick.
so would I post them right on Facebook, right? Looks like I have a life, looks like I got a life going on, So before I met her, Mo,
Shout out to Mo.
shout out, big props to Mo,
Yes.
my queen, yo.
Queen.
She was in Los Angeles. She moved here from Jersey.
Nah,
She says she's from
Jersey.
Philly, but she's real. It's Jersey, Philly, whatever. We'll give her a break. So she moves out here, and she wasn't happy. So she gets in touch with her cousin Danielle, right, through Facebook, and says, "How are the guys out in Philly? Like, I'm thinking about coming back.
Out in Cali, you mean? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
out
Philly.
in Philly, because she was out
Ah.
here. She's like, I haven't had too much luck. And she's told me some of the stories, and believe
Okay.
me, it's how it goes out here, So she reaches out to this gal Danielle, and Danielle, a good friend of mine. We went and saw U2 together. She's Irish, we did it.
Yeah.
She's cool. She had a hair salon. She writes her back. She says, well, I happen to know the coolest guy ever just moved out there, right? So my at the time, Mo gets on Facebook. And she sees me. I'm on the set of Californication. Meanwhile, I'm broke as fuck, scrubbing
my God.
toilets. I'm driving around in a Honda, falling up a stick shift, no air conditioning. So
I love it.
So we connected, and then we went on it. I met her for a date. But when I met her on the date, I actually got a brand new car. Like the day before,
Nice.
I was working, and
She's
I
like, this guy is bald.
What kind of car did you get?
Ford Fiesta, right? Like bad credit. They charged me like $600 a month for like a $10,000 car. Like but I had to get it. You know what I mean? But it was brand new. I had it blacked out.
Sick.
It was awesome, dude. Had like a LED light in it. I thought I was hot shit. So I met her in Largemont for coffee on a Friday afternoon. And I knew, like, as soon as I saw her, like, this was her.
Amazing,
she
man.
pulled up with a green T-shirt on. Like, first of all, she's brunette.
Yep.
Drop dead gorgeous. Like, says, "Kiss me, I'm Irish." Right? And she's wearing a mini skirt with boots, and we met for coffee. She tripped and fell.
Amazing.
And we started talking, and she's like, "What are you into? Do you read?" Because a lot of people don't read.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, I do. I read a lot of self-help books. And she's like, oh, great. Because she was all into that. Right. And then I told her I was sober, and she didn't know what that was about. Like I showed her my coin. I had like 14, 15 years. And she's like, what's that mean? And I'm like, I've been clean for 14 years. She's like, what? She's like, I thought that was a place you go like and learn how to drink, right?
It's complete opposite.
She didn't know, right? So that night, like, because we were like into the date, it was a Friday.
Yeah.
I took her to one of my meetings.
Oh, awesome,
wow.
man.
Right? And then
Second
we went,
date.
Yeah, and then we went to Swingers. And
Perfect. Third date.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is all in one night.
It's amazing.
So I said, this is my life. If you can accept it, we can be together.
Fuck
right? And she was like, yeah. And then we just started dating. And
That's amazing, man.
but I will give her the responsibility. I will, and this is what I'm talking about with the relationship. So, I sought help in all those areas, and I really wasn't dating in LA. I had a couple dates I went on, like I went on J-Date, because I'm Jewish. You know what I mean? And I mean, it was fucking crazy. I'll never do that.
Our friend Brian met his wife on J-Date.
Really?
They have kids. They've been married for like over 15 years, man.
Met Karen.
Met for coffee, and that was it. Never separated since.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
like
nice.
I'm like the wrong Jew for that site, though. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so I had crazy experiences, but anyway, we started dating, and I had to get my stuff. I don't even know where I was going. I cleared up all my. I didn't date for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when I met her, because I didn't have all this baggage with me, I didn't have to bring it with me.
Yeah, man.
And I could just be focused on her.
Yep.
And it was nice, and it wasn't easy at first. Like we moved in within like 6 weeks, I think.
Oh,
Wow.
Because like I felt she lived too far. I was over at Wilshire and San Vicente. She was in Largemont, and I thought that was too far. So we said, well, why don't we move in? You know what I mean? So we got our own place.
Damn.
And we moved in, and I was doing the painting jobs.
Yes.
I was doing like other work, like in recovery.
Yeah.
And, a couple things happened. This one guy who I really respect, he's like, you can't do work in recovery. You can't get paid for it. You got it for free and for fun. You're a grifter. Like, you're too talented to be like, doing these like sober companion type things.
Okay.
There's an industry out here.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not bashing it or anything, but
Okay.
somebody who I respected, I told him I was doing that because I needed to pay the bills. I got a woman now. She
Yeah.
brought a cat with her. We got
Yeah.
another cat. Like I got to be the man. I need money.
Yeah.
But this guy said to me, "You can't do that. Like you got your thing for free and for fun. You need to do that." And then my wife saw me painting, doing these faux finishing jobs, getting, just really stressed out and all. And she said, your mantra is say no to faux, faux finishing. And I didn't want to believe it. And I was broke. So she sent me to the art supply store, and she said, you got to go get some paper. The only time I ever see you happy is when you're drawing and painting.
Wow.
I went to the art supply store. I bought a stack of like paper. She said, just draw and paint every day and post it. And then she was working in post-production. She was like bringing in more money than me.
Wow, that's incredible, man.
And she said, that's what you got to do.
Had your back, man.
Dude, had my back. I listened to her, and like, my whole fucking life changed. Like,
Man,
I just started posting.
What an angel, man.
Dude, I started posting my artwork, and people were interested in it. I started making these prints.
What year was this, you think? What year?
This was in 2014.
Okay.
And I started like making these prints and stuff and posting them, and like I wasn't selling them out, and they were cheap, like $45 a pop.
Yep.
And I met my guy Sam, who's my printer I've been working with since then, who's the fucking best. And I would just do these prints, and I still had like a full-time job here and there, and the couple days off I would just focus on the art.
Yeah.
And I got a really big break that came in one day in 2015 or 16.
Hang on, I'm going to guess what it is. Hang on a second, my notes. Could it be either Pearl Jam, Billy Morrison, Metallica, Willie Nelson, or Bruce Springsteen? Any of those?
Pearl Jam, bro.
Okay, bet. That's sick.
So I got an email from Mr. T-Shirt, Chris. I don't know. You know him? He's a merchandising guy. He does a lot of...
Chris Siglin?
Yeah, Chris Siglin. Yes, he's the fucking best.
All Blink-182, all a bunch of bands. Yeah.
So...
Shout out to Chris Siglin.
He big... Fucking Chris Siglin.
Wow.
I thank him every year.
That's incredible,
big
dude.
Shout out. So
it was Pearl
I
Jam.
got an email from him, and he said, "Hey man, we dig your work. Are you interested in doing a poster?" And at this point, I'd never done a concert poster.
You're a Pearl Jam fan?
Well, I mean,
were you? Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I'm the biggest Pearl Jam fan, but I mean, when I worked at Tower Records, I got the 10 album before it even hit.
Yeah.
Like the rep gave it to me, and I would listen to that. And then
Great album.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know, couple months later, like I'm out on the street, it's like Pearl Jam. Eddie's on David Letterman making an appearance. It was fucking wild,
It's cool, man.
So I've always liked them, but I'm not like, I don't want to go on record saying I'm the biggest.
No, I know.
So Siglin reaches out, and at this point, I get a lot of solicitations for work, and a lot of them aren't legit.
Yeah.
And then people want you to work for free and all this. And he spelled it out real quick, and he said, "Can you get some sketches?" So I did some sketches, and I wrote him back, and he said, "Yeah, we dig this one and this one." I think Jeff was in on it with him.
Yeah.
Jeff Ament.
He's the one that's like a punk rock kid in the band.
Yeah.
The Jeff guy in the band? Yeah, he's a hardcore dude. Yeah.
So I did this poster for 2016. It's going to be 10 years this year at Wrigley Field.
Wow.
And a couple other artists did posters too. I had never done a gig print in my life, right?
Damn.
Did they give you any direction? Or
They just said kind of like do what you think,
Okay.
and like I had this idea like, Pearl Jam gives a lot of money to charity.
Yes.
They're always helping. Even Eddie like has that documentary out right now about kids with illnesses. And I started doing some research on them. And what came to mind was, it was also 2016, the year of the election, when healthcare was a huge issue.
Yeah.
And I came across the plague doctors during the bubonic plague, those guys that would wear the beads.
Oh, yeah.
And
like what I'm wearing.
Like what you're wearing,
Oh, shit.
And I saw Pearl Jam as the plague doctors, because they were kind of like this band that would help the rich and the poor. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what the plague doctors did. Like, there was no health insurance, but towns would hire them, and you didn't have to have a certain income or be on a certain plan. They would just help.
It's awesome.
And I always got that vibe from Pearl Jam. So I drew like the plague doctors, the poster with them wearing flannels and like in their gear. You know what I mean? It was
This is where this came from back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then on the back of it, I did that exact drawing.
On my shirt right now, yeah.
Yeah. And the back of the poster got pretty popular also. Mm-hmm. And that became my branding.
Damn.
So that's like on everything. I slapped that on everything.
That's
now,
incredible,
you know
dude.
Yeah. So Siglin. Yo.
Ooh, that's a game changer, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I've worked with him on Blink posters. He's had me do Blink, Pixies.
You did Pixies, Bruce Springsteen, Willie Nelson, Metallica.
Yeah, did Metallica, Willie Nelson.
That's a big one too, Metallica.
Yeah, I did a couple of those.
So once that poster came out, people saw it was you. Did you start getting more poster gigs from that too, or just?
Yeah. People reach out and you start to get a name, you know, and all that. That's a tough industry, because there's some guys out there that know how to like do the posters that are epic. And like I'm old school, like I'm pen and ink on paper. I don't really embrace.
You don't really do sketches that much either.
Technology.
According to interwebs, you don't really do sketches first. You don't sketch anything out really.
I mean, the sketches that I sent to Chris, they're like maybe 3 little ones, like they're as big as my thumb, because I like to go right in. I'd rather hand in like a couple finished pieces, because I like the spontaneity. Mm-hmm. The more like planning that I have to do, it loses energy. You know what I mean?
I read some stuff like obviously self-made, no teachers, no connections, no business plan, no safety nets, no roadmaps. Super DIY, man.
I've had a mentor, though, who I consider the hugest impact on my life was a gentleman by the name of Ralph Steadman. Who
yes, he's in here too. Yep.
Yeah, he illustrated Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, man.
And when I
the art show here for him was awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But he's got actually his retrospective is coming here May 28th. It opens up at the Torrance Art Museum.
Okay.
And I'm helping his daughter and a bunch of people put that together right now. And it's like an honor and a privilege. He's been the biggest inspiration of my life. I met him in 2000 out in Colorado. He had a show. I flew out there. Mm-hmm. I actually met Hunter S. Thompson too. He was there
sick.
at the time.
That's you and Brolin's guy, man. That's I heard about that from Brolin too. That guy Hunter Thompson.
Yeah. So since 2000, I've been in touch with Ralph in a certain way, and he's never given me art advice.
Yeah.
He's just always tells me be nice to people and draw every day.
It's amazing,
like that's
man.
his thing, and when I watch and I see his work, I just get so much inspiration from that guy. So
how old is he now?
I think he's going to be 90.
Wow,
88
dude.
or 90.
Damn.
And so for his daughter, for me to help her,
it's incredible, man.
She's always like, "Oh, we want to give you something to help us. What can we do for you?" I'm like, "Yo, let me just be part of this, man. This is like, this guy changed my life."
Yeah.
Because my manager at Tower Records showed me Fear and Loathing. I never saw it before. He's like, "Your art reminds me of this guy."
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I got obsessed, and I tracked down all his books and all through used bookstores and shit because there was no internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't he send you his desk too for the art show?
I do have his desk.
He shipped you his desk or something.
Well, that was before I got it before that. Yeah.
It's cool though.
Made me pay for shipping.
Yeah.
But I got the desk and stuff like that.
He's a big inspiration.
Prints.
Picasso is an inspiration to you.
Love
also.
Picasso, yeah.
Also Marvel and all that stuff.
Marvel comics all the time. I still read comic books.
Did you ever do a collab with Marvel? Would that be a dream for you?
No, I've never done a collab, but yeah, I'd like to work with
That'd
them.
be awesome.
I like to draw covers, one shots, because I don't have the patience for the to draw the pages. They take a long, and you got to be really good.
Yeah.
And my style doesn't.
You're also
do that.
inspired by Japanese comic books and stuff too.
Manga and all, yeah.
Contemporary art, comic books, all that stuff.
Yeah. So then This is really awesome too. When I did the Pearl Jam, I didn't know the Pearl Jam fans and how epic they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big shout out to every Pearl Jam fan that has ever liked, shared, or supported my work. Because the day you get paid with posters.
Okay.
Right? Everybody's got a different deal, whatever. Chris sent me I think it was 400 posters and 100 special editions, or maybe 300.
And you can sign them and sell them yourself.
You sign them and you sell them yourself. And, so I'm thinking, all right, I'll do it. It ain't nothing, So the printer who makes the prints told me, the special editions ones will sell out in no time, right? And she said, price them at a certain amount of money. So I put them up on my website. I put the other edition up, and it's I was 11 grand in debt and living check to check. Did the poster, and my wife, she was working, and
letting you live your dream.
Let me live my dream, and I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm bringing in some money here and there, but
you're hustling, you're working.
Nothing spectacular. So I put the Pearl Jam posters up, and I drop them, and I'm on the phone with a friend of mine from Philly, thinking this ain't gonna happen, and I look at my wife, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And I'm hearing, "Bing, bing."
Oh, the money comes through for PayPal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and I talked to my boy Jay, and I said, "Jay, I got to call you back. Something's up, right?" And I look at Mo, and I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I don't know. Let's refresh." We refreshed the PayPal, and I had sold 100 posters in a minute.
Damn,
right?
dude.
They were $150 a piece.
Bro.
And then throughout the day, the rest of them all sold out. And
crazy.
She looked at me, and we were just fucking crying, man.
Wow. That's
I
incredible,
was
dude.
I said,
what a moment.
That's so sick.
I finally felt like I fucking did something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's beautiful.
It was just fucking. So I've chased that, man, and I from that point on to produce the best work I can for people. I got into it. A couple galleries that I used to work with. I don't work with them more. Or some art directors, because I'm stubborn, man, and a lot of people don't want to listen. They don't want to hear your ideas, or everybody thinks they know what's best for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't work, and it's good to just step away.
Is it a supportive community being an artist? Like musicians and tattoo artists is like, obviously there's different cliques and it's like different subcultures, but everybody kind of supports each other's work in the art community. Like,
I mean, there are some guys I know that I've done like a couple collabs, and I've spoken to a couple that are just class acts. You call them, you talk to them, but a lot of artists are kind of in their own world, doing their own things,
in their own lane, doing the
Yeah, some want to hold back their secret, things and stuff like that. But some of them are willing to share, and and some are cool. But most of the time, though, a lot of artists are just always working.
Yeah.
Like, it takes time to do this stuff. You don't just like whip it up. You know what I mean? So,
but you got love and respect and friendship from Stebbin. That's all you need to do. He's the OG, and you're like,
I mean,
that's all. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I have emails of me and him talking back and forth, and him and I talking back and forth, and he sent me paper and inks and stuff over the years. Like, that's my guy. Like, I mean, that is like, that's it. But
that's amazing.
And there's other artists I respect and all, and but he's the real deal, that guy. I mean, he is one of,
Are there a lot of new artists coming up? You pay attention to new young artists coming up? Is it like that?
I try to, yeah, man. I also, like, when I sell some of my work, I try to buy like a piece of like a new and upcoming artist, because even if it's $100, like, like, I don't tell people that, that I do that all the time, but like, it's real important to like spread it around, and like, man, I'll never forget days I had that if somebody bought a $45 print, that would pay for the cat food. And I was happier than like a fucking pig in shit, and then I started like doing, getting jobs and stuff. And, I went full time with it, I think 2016.
Wow.
Or maybe 2015,
Okay.
Around there. So it's been like 10, 11 years.
It's incredible, man.
Fully self-supporting, and.
What was your first art show? Because I only had the Made in the USA one. That was in 2025. Had your art shows before that, your own personal art show?
Yeah. I've worked with a couple galleries in LA. I did stuff in Philly too, some art shows, but that's not really like, I thought it was my thing, but it's not. I'm more like, I do stuff that's like for production, sort of like a commercial. You could kind of use it for fine art and show it up in a gallery.
Yeah.
But the gallery thing is like kind of like changing now, like with being online and technology. Also, I don't like to go out. I mean, I'm like,
I know you're homebody.
You know me. I'm like, I'm within like a 2 or 3 mile radius of my house.
We're like 4 blocks away. I haven't seen him in months because he was right there.
And like,
I respect it.
And I feel terrible when artists invite me to shows.
Yeah.
I don't go. Like, I don't want to go opening night and see all these.
But also, you go to bed early too, unless that's changed since the last time I saw you.
I'm 8:39 now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of late, and that time change really is taking a toll on me, dude.
There's something else I read about it I thought was really interesting, that you donated your first painting to charity, and it was and it didn't sell, and they sent it back to you. It was like the only one that nobody bid on, but then 3 months later it sold for like 4 times that of the price.
Yeah, it was interesting. It wasn't my first painting I ever did.
Okay,
it was
donated to charity. Maybe
it was the first time I was asked, and it was for an organization. And I gave it to them, and they sold they had like 50 paintings. And on Monday, I was like, "Oh, what'd you sell mine for?" And they're like, "We didn't." Couldn't even get like $100 for it, right? So they sent it back to me, and then I put it in an art show I was at, and it got like $8,500 for it.
That's amazing.
I'm not gonna say which painting it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, the Josh Brolin book you did was great. The artwork for that cover and stuff was awesome.
And there's another guy. That's our guy.
It's our guy, dude. Let's talk about Josh for a minute, dude.
I mean, I'm
very supportive of you and all that stuff, man.
I've known him like 12 or 13 years. He's always been in my corner.
Yep. Same. Around the same time, known him for about that many years too, maybe a little more. Yeah.
I mean, we met. We actually went to a couple prisons together.
Nice.
And we were talking, and he was in the front seat, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got the role of Thanos. You ever hear of Thanos?"
Ooh.
And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I'm a comic book dude," but I didn't. Sure. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, he killed that shit too.
Oh, hell yeah,
that
dude.
That was a life-changing moment for him, I think, too. The whole Marvel, different world for him to be in,
Yeah.
That was exciting.
I mean, he was perfectly cast for that character. But
definitely our brother, and definitely a big support of everything we do and all that.
Yeah, I mean, he gave me that opportunity to do that. He's given me other stuff to do over the years. He's bought my work. He's always been like straight up supporter. And
He's a real
cool.
one, dude.
Yeah. He's cool.
Do you ever write graffiti back in the day too, or no?
Only one time, and I got arrested for it. That was
So you
there
did get
go.
arrested.
Yeah, but they didn't. No charges. So
What'd you tag? What'd you write?
I'll tell you exactly what I did. All my friends were doing it, and I thought it was cool. And my name was going to be Ark, as in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh my God.
So I went out, and across the street from my high school was a bank. And I took out a can of spray paint and I shook it up and I start writing and I turned around. The cops were there. They said, "You're coming with us." And I said, "No, it's my first time. Please, you got to understand."
That's my first letter on the wall, dude.
Yeah.
That was your first and last time doing graffiti?
That was my that was my first time and last time doing graffiti on a wall. So what got me out of it is I said, my father's a painter. He'll take it off. So my dad went and he removed it.
My
No
graffiti
way,
removal.
dude.
Yeah.
I love that's your first in time moment.
First
Yeah.
and last.
I mean, and then I just couldn't get into it. All my friends had their black books.
Yeah.
And I knew a lot of guys in Philly that were doing it and they were going to New York and doing it.
Yeah.
I just didn't see the appeal. I mean, I think I'd rather rob people and get high than, I didn't get a rush of tagging.
Right.
It just didn't happen.
You're also a big sneakerhead too, because also I know when DJ M passed away, you were one of the guys or friends with him that helped him sell that collection, and was it to charity or something, right?
So I knew his sister.
Okay.
And I was at her wedding, really nice gal, and I knew Adam a few times. He
Yeah.
came to Philly, and then when
Where was he from? East Coast or no?
Yeah, he was from Philly.
Okay, so I thought.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So he moved out here and he hit it big and stuff like that. And then when I was moving here, his sister hooked me up with him, to get connected out here. But I wound up not meeting him when I moved out here because he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But when his sister was out here, I went to his house and I helped her and her husband, with some of the sneakers and stuff like that.
Had a
went
big
up on
collection,
eBay.
right?
Huge collection, huge.
And you did too. Do you still have a big collection?
No, I got rid of a lot of mine, man.
Did
Did
that make it in the 12 boxes that shipped to LA when you shipped it in sneakers?
No, that storage unit.
Damn.
And then they came out here. The sneakers came later. But, as I got older and my wife, we moved. And we hired movers, but I wouldn't let the movers take my sneakers.
Touch your shoes, yeah.
Because, it's like drug money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I'm with my wife having her watch the SUV. I'm loading it up like 3 times with my sneaker collection.
Wow.
And she said, "You're like 50 years old. What are you doing?" Right? And I said, "I'm DJ Khaled. I need sneakers,"
It's something you don't grow out of. It's something crazy.
Oh,
bro.
man.
You had doubles of things too. You double up everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like with my Godzilla toys.
Yes, you have a big Godzilla collection. That's right.
I mean, you got to buy 2. Sometimes you buy 3. One to play with, one to store, and either one to sell or display.
True.
And it's just too much. My garage is full of Godzillas right now that
Damn.
I want to put up on eBay.
What about sneakers? Did you have a lot still, or got rid of that?
I have about maybe 30 or 40 pairs
Okay.
left. There's a couple real epic ones.
And did you do a collab with Nike before, like the ones you had at your shop?
No, I have a
Was it
couple custom people made,
Okay,
the ones I'm wearing that I wore today.
Yeah.
Somebody made me Picasso. My favorite painting is Guernica. And
Okay.
they made me custom Picasso dunks. And,
Sick,
they're
dude.
Yeah, they're really cool. So
That'd be like a dream collab, maybe a Nike, or maybe not at this point. Back then, maybe doing a collab with them.
Yeah. I've changed my my work around a little bit, so it's a little bit more commercial now, and I'm pursuing more of that type of stuff.
Okay.
So we'll see. Before COVID happened, there was a possibility that might happen.
Yeah.
And then COVID halted a lot of things. COVID was rough on me, man. It wasn't rough in the fact that I sold more art than I ever did. But, my mom passed away. And, I couldn't visit her,
That's brutal, man. I remember that time
is
too.
brutal.
Yeah.
Like you talk about amends, and how I wasn't good, with my mom for a long time being sober. I was able to finally, be there for her.
It's amazing,
She
man.
got sick and, thank God for technology like Amazon and Instacart. I was finally able, I was doing well. She got to see me married. She got to see
Awesome,
me
man.
have some success. And
It's amazing.
my mom still was poor, but she
Yeah.
needed a nurse. she needed food, I would call up and I wasn't allowed to fly there because of the things, and I FaceTime her and I got her everything she needed, but then she passed away. That
was a rough time during COVID. People losing their loved ones. They couldn't even be in the hospital with them. They were like on FaceTime. That was one of the most brutal things I saw during the pandemic.
Yeah, that really.
Obviously, people losing their lives. That's brutal. But then not being there with their loved ones in the hospital.
That bummed me out.
Dude.
And then I don't know if you knew this about me. A few weeks later, my cousin Bonnie and David, the ones that got the restraining order against me, I got a call on a Saturday morning. There was a building that collapsed in Florida. Down in South Beach.
Fuck, man.
The Surfside condos, and they were in it, and they died.
Oh my God,
they died,
man.
and that was all my family. I mean, I have like 1 or 2 cousins left.
Dude, I'm so sorry, man.
But I mean, that was like, that was during COVID, and it was like,
man.
Man, within a minute, like getting a phone call, my family was like wiped out.
Damn.
Fuck, dude.
And that was rough, man. And,
but
I just kept painting, man. That's
your therapy, man.
But I went to therapy. And the first thing I asked the guy at therapy, is this going to affect my art? Oh, no. And I started going to therapy, and I hated it. I was more miserable going to therapy talking about like stuff like, and like I was grieving. And grieving, it was my mother, it was my family, my bloodline, basically, and I didn't understand that grief takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I was in this, like, I was walking around, I'd wake up in the morning in a haze. Like, I would like to call it like a low-grade depression as compared to like a deep, dark depression where you can't even get out of the bed. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand what was going on, but I made a point to get to the studio. I put on a show in 2021, 2022. I rented like a 10,000 square foot warehouse in Culver City in 21, and a lot of people came out. John Feldman was there.
Nice, shout out to Feldman, man.
All wearing masks and shit. Like,
wow, that was
like
a crazy time.
Yeah, it was like a different fucking place and time, and it was rough in some spots, but I learned a lot and I got through it, man.
Wow, yeah, that was a crazy time, man.
Yeah, it was a horrible time.
We were working out in the garage. He lived a couple blocks away. We really got close during that time, me and Derek. Just chilling every day and just like trying to do something together, like outside or work out or something.
Did you guys get COVID?
Yeah.
I got it twice.
Yeah, me, Moon, and Max, and my friend Chappelle got all together.
I don't know anybody that didn't.
Some people have been in the podcast. I never got it.
Yeah, I know someone who told me the other day they never got it.
Yeah.
But when I got it, Mo didn't get it. And when she got it, I didn't get it.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, who knows, right?
So definitely this is your release and your therapy and sobriety is painting every single day for you.
Every day. Yeah, I mean,
man.
I have a whole routine when I get up in the morning.
Yeah, what's like a daily ritual? Let's get a day in the life for you.
All right, so I get up pretty early, usually between 4
Yeah, because you're in bed by 8,
4:30. Well, my cat, Boy, shout out to Boy, he wakes me up.
Okay.
Right? So I get up, I take a piss, go to the pee, get the coffee going.
Coffee, no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I do this thing called the morning pages.
Okay.
Which, if you ever heard of this book called The Artist's Way,
okay, it's
been out for a long time. You take a book and you write 3 pages handwritten of whatever's on your mind.
Damn.
You
cool.
know, like I curse you. I got to do this damn podcast today. Like,
Yeah.
Tommy, just whatever. And then I'd write a gratitude list. And it's very short, just like maybe 10 items. And I take a picture of it and I send it to friends who I'm intimately connected with.
Yep.
It's not for everybody,
Yeah.
do that. Then I usually hop on a Zoom meeting, 12-step meeting, make some breakfast, go get a workout in.
You do Pilates still?
At home.
Nice.
The last couple weeks I haven't been, I had a real stressful couple weeks, so the workout's been suffering, but I actually did tonal today.
Okay.
And I am like knocked on my ass.
You know what
right
tonal
now.
is?
No.
It's like a machine on the wall. You can do everything.
Yeah.
Explain to the
So
listeners.
it looks almost like a television, but it's got arms.
Oh, I've seen those.
And it's digital weight, so
Right.
you get a full workout in. You can do all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
So
Brian's got that. A couple of friends have that. Yeah.
yeah, we got that. We got the Peloton and the Reformer. So I try to hit that.
You got the plunge.
I got the plunge, but my plunge is
We
broken.
gotta get it fixed, dude. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah. And then I make sure that I spend time in my studio,
Yeah, every day at least.
Every day, even if it's 15 minutes. And sometimes it's business, but I always make sure I do at least one sketch.
A day.
Like if I have to do 3 hours of business, I got at least 15 minutes to an hour in of just drawing.
Love that.
And I don't necessarily need to think about anything. I just got to get, pardon me, into motion.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in control of any of this. I don't know what I'm going to do unless it's like an assignment that I've talked about.
Yeah.
I just get to the paper and show up and I start working. And then, I meditate with my wife. We read some spiritual literature,
Nice.
You
love cooking too.
I do love cooking, but I love my wife so much. Like
She's the best, dude.
It helps our relationship so much. We read like a book, like either it's like The Law of Attraction or, some shit, like some epic positive stuff,
Yeah.
And then we meditate. I do TM for 20 minutes and then I'll do it again later
You're on your
in the
shit,
day.
dude.
Wow.
But I'm on my shit, but this is what it takes for me to function.
Be sane.
Yeah, to be sane, because I'm the guy that would wake up and like, oh my God, I got to put my pants on. Got to shave. Life's too much for me.
Yeah.
Like that's why I got high. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
So I need to do all this stuff. Some people like routine. Some people don't. I happen to like a routine.
Okay.
Because when I'm in a routine, then I can do the fucking weird shit.
Yeah.
When I'm out of it, man, I feel like my world's
Upside down.
Yeah, like I got to be real. That's why, like, if you tell me a date,
I know.
but I'm not. Everybody's different.
Just for listeners, I was trying to get him on a couple of times, but I kept like, okay, another day I kept, because I'm in my own world trying to book all the shit about myself. So a couple of times it's supposed to be on here, but I'm so happy you're here now, dude. This is
I'm happy,
epic.
and you know what? Everything works out for a
Totally,
reason,
dude. Yeah.
Because when we had made plans before, I was angry, man. Like I had some shit going down. Like we would not be having this conversation.
Yeah.
I would be calling some people out right now and getting in trouble for it. You know what I mean? So it all happens for a reason.
No, this has been beautiful because just getting to know you from hanging out with you and then hearing your story. I've heard a couple of these stories, at least off the pod, but hearing them on here and just you being so honest and open about this has been so cool, man.
Yeah.
I have a whole newfound respect for you, dude. Like everything you've been through.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
You're a survivor,
man,
dude. What about, so we talked about therapy, sobriety. What's the latest obsession for you?
The latest obsession for me.
Besides like doing art, you have anything? You guys binge watch a lot of shit.
Yeah,
You mow.
we do watch a lot of stuff.
You turn me on to some things. Yeah.
We're watching young Sherlock Holmes right now from, what's his name? Guy Ritchie.
Oh,
Guy
sick.
Ritchie,
It's pretty good.
Is it new? That's old, isn't it?
No, just came out. No,
Okay.
he did the movies with Robert Downey.
Okay.
This is the TV series. I watched War Machine with Alan
I
Richardson.
just watched that last night.
It was
turns
a
me on to
popcorn
it.
movie, man.
Yeah,
It was good,
yeah.
man.
Gary turns me on a lot of good
I
shit.
love
yeah.
Reacher. Like
It was better than I expected.
anytime there's a guy, whether it's Equalizer, which I love, or Reacher, like on TikTok especially, when there's a guy that's got into a problem, or some people put him in a problem, and he just goes and kills and beats.
The original MacGyver. You know?
Yeah, I love it. And just kills people. Like, I love it. The more people that are killed, the more revenge on people who think they're like better than others. I love it. Like, I watch that all day, man.
Do you like comedies too?
We're watching that DTF. That is
He hasn't seen the new episode, the second one.
I saw it.
so good,
Bro.
man.
Jason Bateman is incredible in everything he does, dude.
And the David Harbour, I just found he was like co-writer or he helped write that show.
the actor from Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that's a prosthetic belly, he said too. It's
Oh,
not his,
I was
you were
wondering. I was
wondering
like, yo,
about
this
it.
dude got big.
yeah. I saw it
It's
on something that
believable.
I love that show.
What's
And
that girl's name too? She's great. She's in so many things.
Is it Tony? No.
Yeah. No.
Can't
Mo
remember her
knows
name.
her.
Yo, DTF is so good, man.
good.
Yeah, Mo laughs. I love dark humor
It's
like
very
that,
good.
where
Yeah.
you may not laugh out loud, but you
Yeah.
know it's funny as fuck.
Yeah, dude. Anything Jason Bateman's in is just like.
Yeah, because he's straight pan.
You watch like trash TV, like reality shows and shit like that, or no?
I'm not into that.
Yeah, I don't see Mo being into that either, really.
She likes some of it, but we have watched some documentaries like on like I like watching these like scammers get over on people and shit.
We watched
Yeah.
one. He sent me one last night. It's
Like the Tinder dude.
Swindler?
Tinder
Yeah.
swindler.
There's a new one he sent me last night.
It was a whole different world. I never even knew it existed.
It's called.
It's called. Oh God, what's it called? I know it's on the tip of my tongue.
When people do something, it's Thirst Trap.
Thirst
Oh,
trap.
we watched
Yeah.
that. We saw that. Yeah.
What the fuck? Dude?
Oh, and
Yo.
the woman from Australia sent like 80 grand,
Bro.
like that
Oh,
dude.
so
Almost
I-
100 grand.
I thought it was just interesting because we were talking about this and how like so many women get down on dudes dating like young girls and their
Yes.
obsession.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, there's another side to this as well with
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
You know, and they were, really disgusting.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they were just like passing this book around
Yeah.
with him like naked and you know, like doing all this obscene
Yeah,
stuff.
when they got the text messages, like someone leaked some porn of him or
Yeah,
something, and he was with his cousin.
And then they were passing it all around with each other, and then they
Yeah.
were all extremely jealous because the one of the
and it's
hooked up, and I was just like, "Yo, this is disturbing."
But it's like one of those things. It's just like what they say, like when you're watching like a car crash.
Yeah,
you can't take your eyes off of it.
yeah.
And like my wife and I, like were watching it, and we were just like, "Holy shit," you know. But
Yeah, me too. I mean, I was just like, "How is this?" You know.
But then this gets into a whole other topic that Mo and I were talking about the other day. We just watched Sinners. Did you see Sinners?
Yeah.
Great movie.
I fucking love that
Phenomenal.
movie.
Huge movie.
It was awesome, right?
Taking the Oscar this weekend.
I had
for
to
sure.
convince her to watch it with me because
Okay.
she thought it was just like some cheesy
No,
vampire
no,
thing.
Yeah.
no,
She
no,
loved.
it's
My wife's
very
a singer,
deep.
so she
Right.
loved the sing. We
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
They had like, yeah.
So we're watching it, and there's some sex in there, right? And then there's like on DTF, you know, the one detective. She was on. She was in Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
The black girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
And-
she's great.
And
She's
she
great.
starts talking about to tell the older dude
Yeah.
about porn.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
okay. So my wife likes that show Euphoria.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a
Great
lot
show.
of sex on that.
Yeah. It's like
So
soft porn.
So my wife and I were talking the other day, like, and this brings in the thirst trap too. It is different. My generation now, like, you would see someone topless, you know, making out in a Friday the 13th movie.
Correct.
Maybe you'd see a butt. You'd never see a man's genitals.
Right.
Now, like I watch, like, you know, you watch Sinners or you watch DTF or Euphoria. There's all kinds of sex and kids' levels of what they take because of the internet and pornography are at a different level. And the gal in DTF breaks it up. She's like, it's like porn A or porn B level.
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no sensitivity to it anymore.
Everybody's desensitized to it because
Yes.
social media.
Well, kids are, because
Yes.
when my wife watches it, she's like, the sex scenes, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, maybe it's trying to tell a story, but it's really what people are used to these days.
And
Yeah.
I don't know how much sex education is taught in schools to young kids anymore, if they're just learning from porn or social media or what they're looking at because they're so exposed to so many things at a young age.
Well, Mo was telling me the articles in some of the women's magazines that, you know, kids 13 or 14 are reading are really explicit. And it's like what back then was taboo is like so like just nonchalant these days. And I'm not a prude by any means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But this country is. This
Yeah.
country is founded on being prudes and totally looking down on that. And so it's kind of like embedded into the system here. I mean, if you go outside the U.S., you know,
Very
lot of it-
open-minded about
it's
sexuality.
a lot more open-minded.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
by, you know, a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But coming back here, it's always this idea, you know, of the side like, oh, you know, it shouldn't be like that, or it's, you know, really trying to protect something, you know, and it just seems so false,
Right.
You know, very hypocritical.
Yeah.
Seeing the things that go on, you know, especially people that are double down on shit, you know, like
Yeah.
especially conservatives. I have to put it out there, you know, a lot of times they're the ones, it's like doing horrendous stuff. And you have that person that's like, oh, I hate gay people. I hate trans, you know.
And then like the Tinder app is like at an all time, not
Yeah.
Tinder, the Grinder
Grindr,
app
and they're
is at
like,
an all
oh,
time.
we found the senator on the Grinder app and he's
Yeah,
been doing,
yeah.
and it's just like, there you go. You know, like those
Yeah.
people with that fear,
Yeah.
you know, of the unknown or themselves, a lot
Right.
of time they're projecting that.
Totally
And
projecting.
that happens a lot in America.
Yeah.
You know, it's like based on that fear.
Yeah.
You know, like and
Great point.
projecting it, you know, like doing the complete, you know, the same thing that they're in fear of themselves. You know?
Yeah, I feel like social media exposes people to a lot of things too, right? So,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, there's haters.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, it used to be somebody could be standing on the corner with a megaphone and say, "Ah, ah," you know, whatever they want to say. Now they got the internet. They attract countries.
Yeah.
You know,
Are you on there a lot, social media?
Recently, I've slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back, but I needed a break from it.
Yep.
And, you know, man, like I'm sensitive. I don't want,
Same.
and I try not to read, you know, comments because, you know, people bash you and like,
Pointless, yeah.
Did you get negative stuff before? Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten some negative stuff. I got some real hatred. I got some anti-Semitic stuff, you know.
Fuck.
And it just happens. And like, you know, it took me a while that you just got to just ignore it.
Yeah.
But then they also say like, if you have haters, you're doing it right.
Absolutely, dude.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So
man.
it's like, but I don't want to get into it. It's like a time waste.
Yeah,
I know.
absolutely. It drains your energy,
Ice-T had a great quote. It was like, haters only hate looking up. You know what I mean? They're looking up when they're hating. You know what I mean? They're looking down at you, looking up at you because you're doing shit. I like that.
I like Cat Williams. He did like something on
He's
haters.
amazing.
He's
dude.
like, if you ain't hate, you ain't doing it right.
Exactly.
He's
Will you respond to a negative comment or a DM or anything like that? Or no?
I have in the past, and I've paid the toll for it because then they come at you.
Yes.
Pointless.
And it's like pointless. And most of the time, like you're dealing with somebody that's living in their parents' basement.
Yes, dude.
That has no life or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some so-called expert. So it's like it's not even worth it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing the Torn State artwork too for my son's band.
Oh, absolutely, man.
That was really cool. We just sketched that up and do that for us
Now
really
it all
fast.
is
Too.
clicking.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It all makes sense, right? Yeah. I think there should be. I like to put out there an atmosphere, maybe like a Sepultura collab with you guys. It's their 40th anniversary, and they're trying to work a new artist. It'd be kind of cool.
Man. I'm here,
I think that'd
man.
be awesome, dude.
Chris Siglin representing me.
Chris,
No.
yeah. Are you an optimist or pessimist? Depends on what day it is.
Well, I'm naturally pessimist because I'm Jewish. But no, I'm an optimist, man. I wake up every day, man. Like I said, like I look forward to living, not surviving.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to bring a positive message, peace and love. Like we shouldn't bring each other down, man. We're all in this shit together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like and things are only going to get better. If I focus on the good only multiplies. If I focus on the negative, then that doubles. And I don't want to do that.
I love that.
Definitely makes sense.
I'm so happy I met you when you were sober, man.
Thanks, man.
Those stories
you've
are
never
crazy.
seen me.
No,
drink.
just a different person, man.
I like when his face lights up, like man, you really did that. And this guy's never done anything.
I don't know.
I said to him, he would be the wrong person to ever get high.
That would said this a million times.
My friends
over
always
and
say that
over,
to me too.
over and over. I say this. I mean, coffee's already pushing it.
That's the main thing I like. Right now.
Yeah, you would be
anything.
set off, bro. Rehab.
What are what's some top 5 favorite MCs? I know you're a hip hop head.
I like Big Daddy Kane.
Woo!
Right.
So your age right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Chuck D.
Of course.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Cube.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are great
Those are
ones.
3 strong choices
I mean,
right now.
Strong.
Who? Let me see.
Big Daddy. Wow.
Slick Rick.
Nice, man.
I mean,
respect
You're definitely an old school guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like old school.
Slick Rick is-
I mean, you're talking old, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
Ice-T.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he, Biggie.
Yes.
You know.
Do you listen to new hip hop at all or no?
I mean, one of my favorites is Future.
Fuck yeah.
I love Future.
That's awesome, man.
You know, I do like some Drake.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's a
What
lot
about
of
some
mainstream.
Kendrick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, you got to listen to Kendrick.
Yeah.
But I also like Migos. When I mean,
damn, remember them Amigos? Yeah.
Yeah.
They had some good songs.
Yeah. So I dug them and oh man, who the guy that got shot? Man, I can't think of his name.
They passed away.
There's a few.
Yeah.
The one that had 50 Cent vibe.
Yeah.
He got shot in L.A.
Yeah, I can't think
because he
of his
put where he
name.
was staying out on his Instagram story.
Yeah, and they came to
he
his
was from
house
the East
and they
Coast
shot him
too.
in the shower. Oh man,
Fuck,
dude,
he's great.
I like him
though.
so much I can't think of his name.
I forgot his name though, man. That was really sad, man.
Yeah, that
was a
was.
sad
And
one.
he was really good, man.
Yeah. What about top 5 artists like you love? Obviously, we know Stedman's top.
Yeah,
Inspirations.
Stedman, Picasso,
Yeah.
Mobius, who's a French artist, comic book artist, Francis Bacon.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
You
know that?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I like him a lot. And then I would probably have to say, because it's 5, I have to round it out. You got me on the spot.
That's okay.
I'm
I'm trying to think of that rapper's name too, and they passed away.
I know. I want to look it up, man.
I'm looking up. Okay, wait. Think of your artist real quick.
Man,
we're
you
gonna
put
get
me
this
on the
guy's-
spot. I have so many top 5 artists, man.
What like a dream collab? I already asked you, but like a dream collab right now at this stage in your life as an artist.
Oh, well, that would be with Stedman.
Okay.
He's still around. I mean, Pop Smoke.
Yo, we're back. We're back from the bathroom break. It's Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Yeah, he had like a real 50 Cent vibe.
Yeah,
He was
he was
really-
cool, man. He had some really good lines.
And he was
too,
blowing
man.
up. He was coming up, and that's just like social
I
media.
hate to see that shit happen.
Yeah.
He shared
You
his
know?
location on social media, and then he rolled up to the house he was renting, and they did the same thing. You know
It's
what I
like,
mean?
for what? You know?
I just saw Rihanna's house got shot at. You saw that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was pretty
that
crazy.
was crazy,
man.
too.
Person's definitely
Um,
going through some mental issues.
Yeah. So no more sneakerhead for you. You have some sneakers left. Still have a huge Godzilla collection, right?
Yeah.
And what's your next thing coming out? What are you working
Oh,
on
my
now?
top! I'll round that artist list
Let's
off
go.
real quick. Edward Sorrell. He's an old time illustrator.
Okay.
Right into
What
my
would
thing.
be your top 5 comics?
Ooh.
I
Go in
definitely
D-Block.
need to hear this.
Well, I love Hellboy.
Okay.
Hellboy's one.
Didn't Josh play
Chris
was in Hellboy?
No,
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
He actually, dude, he would be fucking.
Be a pretty good
Yeah,
Hellboy.
he's got.
Oh
that,
no, it was the dude from Sons of Anarchy, that big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
great.
He's got that jaw though.
Yeah.
He does.
Okay. Respect.
I like Hellblazer, John Constantine. Like I like the
Nice.
dark shit.
Yeah,
You know.
no, I get it.
Yeah,
I
like
get
that
it. Okay.
Swamp Thing.
Wow,
I go
that's
for
old
that.
school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like a good Batman tale. And there's a new Batman out right now called Absolute Batman, where Bruce Wayne's poor and he like has to just come up with it, you know, the ideas, and every character is exaggerated. So they have this whole absolute universe now, like Absolute Superman and all.
Interesting.
What the
But
fuck?
Absolute Batman is great, and they're retelling like the story of the Joker, and it's like wild. I'm not going to give out any spoilers and all, but I'm hooked.
Right.
But I don't buy the single issues anymore
Okay.
because my wife has had it with me
Yeah,
with
I'm sure.
hoarding and shit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so I get
Shout out to
that.
Mo.
I get it.
Yeah, and let's see.
What's your favorite Batman?
Well, we're
okay,
number
okay,
4.
Okay, sorry,
just-
sorry.
Wait,
we got one more.
we got one more here. I would probably have to. Oh, Daredevil.
Wow.
I mean,
really?
yeah, because when I was homeless, actually, I carried around the graphic novel Born Again, which they
gonna
have as
ask
the
you, like,
TV series now on
Okay.
Netflix. And you know, it was this whole story, like the Kingpin, like took everything away from the Daredevil, from Matt Murdock,
Matt
the
Murdock,
lawyer.
the lawyer,
He
yeah.
like took everything from him, but he made a comeback. And I like that was like a real inspiration. That was Frank Miller.
Yes.
Damn.
I love
David
Frank Miller.
Mazzucchelli, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But classic Marvel, and like I just Daredevil. I like dark guys. You know, he supposedly has a handicap because he's blind.
You're just blind, yeah.
And I like things that are like not understood and people that have perfections. To me, that's like the real heroes.
Yeah.
Superman was always too perfect for me. Spider-Man, I never got into.
Really? But Peter Parker is a great example of a person who's kind of like on the outskirts of society and
He is.
trying to fit in.
I just couldn't get into it though. I didn't like relate to him though. But Batman I can because he's dark and he's got like a a whole other side.
Did you like
of
that
him.
Penguin show?
Oh yeah, we
Colin
watched
Farrell?
that.
That was
Yeah.
incredible.
It's great.
What's your favorite Batman? Is it the Christian Bale one?
Well,
Bro, incredible. Dark
Well-
Knight?
so here's the deal, dude.
Getting
If you
real
really
nerdy.
want to get into
Let's
that,
get real
'cause-
nerdy now.
so I love that first one, Batman Begins,
Yeah.
and then Dark Knight came. I
Yeah.
mean, I was the Joker for Halloween. Like I got the whole prosthetics, the
incredible.
outfit. I mean, that amazing movie. And then the third one came, and I was like, these guys just phoned it in for a check, man. 'Cause
Who's in
they're-
the third one? Was it Christian
It was
Bale? or no?
Bane. No, it was
Oh,
Tom.
Bane, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Bane,
Yeah.
Yes,
You know.
that way there.
Yeah, and it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn.
like they shut Gotham down for a month,
Yeah.
and then they released all the cops and all to fight, and nobody had stubble on their face. Nobody was malnutrition. Like they
Right.
were, like there was. I start thinking of all this shit, so I thought that dropped. So yeah, I would have to go with Christian Bale, but I love Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
That
Really?
the Batman.
Okay.
That was dark. That was a really dark one.
I love that dark shit, man.
I know.
And the dude who played the Riddler, what's his name? He got a bad rap from Quentin Tarantino. Paul
yeah, recently.
Daney, is that his name? Paul?
Maybe. Yeah.
Dude, that guy is fucking. I mean, he was scary as fuck. He had that mask, but I can't wait for the sequel for that. And then I got to go with Michael Keaton.
Classic shit, dude.
And I saw Batman when it premiered. He was high on coke, brother. June 23rd, 1989. My friends and I saw it. We couldn't decide if we liked it or not. We all got into a fist fight in the movie theater parking lot because
Wow.
we didn't know if we liked it or not. Because with Nicholson singing and dancing,
Yeah.
like I was expecting like him to be the ultimate Joker.
yeah.
And it kind of like, but looking back on it today, you know, like artists always have the worst timing, and Tim Burton was way ahead of his time.
Absolutely,
for that, man.
dude.
And it was phenomenal. And the second one he did with Danny DeVito was pretty fucking cool too, man.
How about Heath or Joaquin for Joker?
Oh, Heath, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get into that Joker movie. I liked it, but it's
You like it?
I loved it.
I love it. Did you like the second
It
one?
was too scary.
You like the
though.
second
Oh,
one?
really? Yeah.
I mean, it was really
I
dark.
love the New York
I think
grime.
it's like one of those things I can watch it once and I don't need to watch it again because it was so. It
saw the
goes
second
really
one?
dark.
The-
The second one was trash.
Now
Sorry.
I liked
The musical.
Now I don't want to say I disliked it. I
Right.
liked it as a standalone movie.
Yeah, two different Jokers.
But it's not my Joker.
I get
Yeah.
it.
The Joker to me is the crown prince of crime, and he's like one of the most evil fucking villains of all time.
Heath
And
was
I think
sick.
it's really interesting they brought in the whole Batman world into cinema. I mean, it's always been around, but in the comics, it's just so dark.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize how dark it goes.
And
with-
that
Really?
absolute Batman
Yes.
is, I mean, it really goes like
I
which
mean, it really goes deep into the psyche of the person who's doing, he's this revenge,
Yeah.
like his parents,
Yeah.
his whole past, his fears, and he just goes off, and then they have like him old,
Yeah.
like Batman, he's just like bitter,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really, really psychologically, like almost like a criminal, in a way, like it's
yeah.
a vigilante.
but he won't kill anybody.
Right.
But absolute Batman changes that, dude.
Yeah,
like
okay.
all bets are off. It's like the Batman we've always wanted.
So there'll be a
Right.
movie for that probably. For sure.
Eventually, I would imagine, yeah.
Damn.
I want to get the new statue,
And,
but I have no room for it. It's
Oh, it's a new one?
yeah. But he's got like spikes on him and shit, man. He's
pretty
badass.
bad.
Carries
Yeah.
it. He carries it like his bat symbol that's on his chest comes off and becomes an axe. Like it, you got to get it. You got to go
That's pretty
get
hard.
it.
Cool.
Do you have any superhero tattoos?
Yeah, actually, one of my favorites is Madman.
Okay.
If you remember a
I
comic
don't know
book
if
called
I
Madman?
maybe Derek knows that.
No.
Came out around the same time that like Hellboy and all came out, and they were going to do a movie and all with it. But it's one of the best written and illustrated comic books of all time.
See,
That's a
you're
deep cut.
A big
Yeah.
fan of graphic novels.
Yeah, I like because the individual issues are great, but I like them when they're all like, they would call them a trade.
Right.
Some of them are graphic novels, but yeah, just because of the space and like the collecting point of view doesn't appeal to me as much as reading a good story.
Are you a type of person that's like DC or Marvel?
No,
Yeah.
I mean I've gone back and forth. I mean I loved when DC had the Vertigo, and they've taken like some of their Grand Lantern, some,
I saw a trailer for
oh
it.
yeah,
And I was
lanterns,
just like,
yeah.
It's kind of looking.
Oh, is a Green Lantern coming out?
Yeah, new TV series.
Oh, okay, okay.
Lanterns.
Yeah.
Lanterns. Okay,
Yeah, but
okay.
they took some dark. Like I like when they go dark and more mature, and and like it's like an ebb and flow. Like sometimes Marvel will be a little bit better,
Right.
sometimes DC will be, but I don't really have like a super loyalty.
Right.
I want to just like get into it. You know?
Yeah.
You love the Wolverine movies? And Logan?
No,
No.
no.
Really? None of them?
The last
That's your
one.
dude.
Wait, bro.
Not
First
the
of
last
all,
one. I'm saying the first one.
I met Stan Lee when I moved to LA.
Damn.
I'm working on a job site, right, at this restaurant, Porta Villa, and I'm wearing a flannel. I'll show you a picture. I got the chops. I got the hair up in the air, and I met Stan Lee. And from his words, that's Stan Lee, he said, "You are the Wolverine," because the real Wolverine was like 5'2".
Yeah, he's
he weighed
tiny.
250 pounds.
Fuck.
That was the whole idea behind that. He was a little badass, and people would fuck with him, and he would just destroy you. And then now look, Hugh Jackman did fantastic job. I'm not gonna, but he's like 6'6".
True.
He's like a little bit too Hollywood Wolverine for me. But he's awesome in the role. But a couple of those movies, I don't know what people were thinking when the script gets to the table and people approve it, and you're like, how did that get made?
I don't think a lot of them are even comic readers.
Yeah.
It seems it's like, did you ever
moviegoers?
do your back, like to understand?
The
the-
Avengers, though.
Because there's a lot, and you can get a lot from the personality of the character,
Right.
through the comics. I mean, that's why they became so popular. These movies,
And that's what I don't understand. Like
Yeah.
these phenomenal stories
Exactly,
were
the
written,
sto-
and they can't translate it
Right.
to screen. But like you just brought the Avengers up.
Yes.
The dude who was in charge of Marvel, I mean, he's obsessed. So like he knows you got to hook it up.
Yeah.
And the more you hook it up, the more people are going to love it. The real fans are going to love it, and he did that. But the last Wolverine movie, I think it was just called Logan.
Yes.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got really nerdy at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, I love comics.
You're a big comic guy. Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. It changed my life. Like you said, like especially if you're a struggling kid and you don't really fit in. You know, it's all about that. The people writing it had those lives, you know, where they didn't fit in, you know.
Yeah, well, that was what my father, like, I still have it. He bought me Origins of Marvel Comics. It was a compilation of, like, the Fantastic Four, Daredevil, the Hulk, all in one hardback. And he got it for me. And, like, I read that. I used to trace them. That's how I learned how to draw.
That's cool.
But, I mean, that was life-changing.
Yeah. You're like 8 years old or something.
Yeah. I was like 8. I mean,
for
like,
sure.
reading those stories, just, like, and
Put
they
you
were
in a
so
whole nother
relatable.
world. Yes, yeah,
You know?
exactly. They put you in a whole nother world, a different world, you know. It's just like anticipating getting, you know, like, oh, can we go to the store and get comics from my dad I used to buy.
And I like had a hard time like reading a book, which I love to read now. I read every night before I go to bed, like a novel.
But comics, you could just
like
go through them back
but
then.
But comics, you're getting this picture and you're entering this world.
It's
and
taking you out of your reality,
but someone could draw this and write this, and it was just cool as shit.
But it was very relatable. It's true, though. A lot of
They're
people.
better sober, though, than high, because I've had both experiences. I know Toby likes to hear that.
You seem like somebody's like, you're in a good space now, and you made amends with the past and giving back with all the donations and stuff, and like, so do you have regrets in your life anymore with sobriety and stuff?
I mean, I think I mean, you know, I talked about my father passing away in my arms. I mean, I regret not being there for my mom. I regret, you know, my father not being able to see me sober.
Successful,
you know, get through, you know, some things that I said and did to my mom, and a couple relationships that I ruined or was in. I regret, you know, I made amends to some people. They didn't want to hear it.
You're right.
And you know, but I am free today, man. Like I could walk on the street and no one's after me. No one's looking for me. You know, man, I just want people to just say, yeah, that dude's all right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out to get anybody these days, you know, but I have complete freedom. Like, and I wake up with choices today. When I'm in my shit, I have no choices, man. Like, and today I could do anything I want, you know, and
I love that, man.
Know, and that's how I feel, you know?
Yeah, I'm happy having you and hear your story and share everything with the world. It's just been through a lot, man. I'm happy to see you like out here in California thriving and living your dream, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, if anybody's listening out there that's struggling, I think it's like my responsibility, you know, with great power comes great
responsibility.
You know, is that, you know, if you're going through anything, drugs, alcohol, suicide, there's help. Totally. You know, but you can't get anywhere if you don't ask for the help.
Absolutely.
And there's plenty of help, you know, that you just gotta, you know, because it's if you do some damage to yourself, or you know, God forbid, kill yourself, you're killing or harming the wrong person.
Yeah.
And you can get help for it. So, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy because your story, you really didn't have anybody to ask for help, so you went through all that trauma and stuff until you finally got to your first meeting and then got the help and became friends with this community that changed your life.
My pride and ego wouldn't allow me to ask.
Sure.
I was always on my own, and my family never taught me that you could ask for help.
Right.
You know, like they never did. And I just, it was like an act of providence, if you will. Like I just happened to run into this guy because I had no plans of ever cleaning my shit up. And I had no idea that addiction was like really the problem at the time. You know what I mean? So
I like what you said about your art. You said your art is like a record of you being here. The marks, the tantrums, the chaos, it's something permanent.
Every time that I draw or write, that it's all most of the time based on feelings. And, you know, it's like I was never really good with words, like writing a book. I'm trying to write something. I'm actually trying to write a graphic novel right now.
Wow. Nice.
And illustrate it.
Nice.
And I'm not the greatest. My wife is fantastic with spelling and grammar and story and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm better at expressing myself with drawings, you know. And so when I do a drawing in my sketchbooks, or it's a drawing, that's what's going on in my life. And, you know, and if you look at it, you can kind of tell like how I kind of feel that day or what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Any more questions for Mr. Feldman?
Just off the pod.
Yeah.
Just nerdy questions of comic stuff.
I'm here, man. I love it.
Give me one more nerd. You got another nerd one?
No, I was just wondering if you ever got into the Preacher.
I love Preacher.
talk
I
nerd
had every issue with that one.
That
Now that's something that
I
I
love this
wasn't
pod,
too
dude.
happy with the television show.
yeah.
They'd had some of it, but it
Yeah.
didn't. Like, why not go all the way?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But yeah, what's his name?
interesting
Garth Ennis,
story.
who
Yeah.
wrote that.
Right.
Anything that Garth Ennis writes, I'm into him. Yeah,
That
Preacher was
story
great.
tripped me out. That whole idea of that whole world, I was just like completely blown away. Just wow.
This is the first guest ever that Derek's been here for. They actually nerd out with some comic
And
book
you know
shit.
what,
I love
man?
it.
When you read that, though, it makes you think that this shit could be going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's not about like what you see in the headlines right now with files and shit. I'm not going to get into that stuff. Like, you have no idea what's going on behind, like what kind of hierarchy it really exists. You know, when
Comics have been talking about stuff like that for a long time, right?
oh
Stuff
yeah,
that's happening
it
now.
is.
Yeah.
Illuminati,
Yeah. We
All
have
that
times with
stuff.
that.
all that stuff.
I mean, it's incredible
It's a whole
where
different
where they
world.
go. But I love the fact that a lot of the comics and stuff are extremely positive.
Yeah,
Like the message at the end, there was always some type, and it made sense.
Yeah.
It was like very straightforward, and it was also it's like very open to everyone. It didn't matter religion or color you were or anything like that. Like, you could relate to it in a way where it's like, this is for everyone.
I mean,
the
Stan Lee
messages.
back in the '60s.
He was like a pioneer.
Right, he was
And,
taking on
civil
issues of the
rights.
day,
Yeah,
civil
exactly.
rights, handicapped.
Yeah, all that. It was
cool.
all we talked about: women rights. like everything.
And that's what makes like the best. Even like you talk about with like to just compare like what Stan Lee was doing or like a film director or maker. George Romero, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Complete commentaries on society. And that's why not only is it a good horror movie, but it's got a message in
Exactly,
there.
right.
And that's the real geniuses, I think.
I
Like, they
think so,
put that
too.
in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool. You put a comic book out someday, man.
Yeah.
That's
I'm trying,
amazing.
man.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
trying.
That's like probably like some childhood dream for you, man.
Yeah.
I think you make it happen, dude.
Yeah, I'm working on it right now.
If
It's hard
anybody
work,
could do-
man. And that's like comic book artists are like some of the most, I don't want to say disrespected, but like
Appreciated.
I agree
underappreciated.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, because there's guys that I'm friends with and guys who I admire in that business, and they're kicking out like 1 page a day or 2 pages a day. But not only are they drawing it, like they have to know their skills.
Yeah.
Me, I go on the piece of paper, I splat something, I find something out of it and all. And yeah, there's an art to that. But these guys, they got to know perspective, their anatomy, their timing. And it's just like their works of art should be around this time. And hopefully before I die, I know it's happening with Frank Frazetta, who, who's, he passed away, but his illustrations are unbelievable. They were like all the original Conan and Heavy Metal.
Oh, that's cool.
The paintings, like if
Have
you
you
saw
read a magazine? Yeah,
like,
wow.
that guy is like, to me, like the next Michelangelo. And like there's like Simon Bisley, like there's Bill Sienkiewicz. These guys' work should be in art museums, and I don't understand,
I don't understand
why
either.
they're not. Because then I look at the artwork. This is a whole other conversation like that happens in L.A.
Yeah.
So and I'm like, what? That's art? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And it's like it's mind-boggling. So mucho props to the comic book artists out there,
No
man.
doubt.
It's amazing. So people can reach out to you on Instagram, DM you, ask you questions. Do you have a website, Joey Feldman?
Yeah, JoeyFeldman.com, Instagram,
Yeah.
Joey Feldman Artist.
Buy merch, buy drops there. everything.
Yeah. And sign up for the email list because I don't really announce when I sell. Like I just sold a skateboard yesterday,
Nice.
and we sold out like in a half hour. Yeah, Josh actually was like he wanted one, and as I was talking to him, it sold out.
Oh.
And there's nothing better than telling Josh Brolin, your shit just sold out, bro.
He'll get it somehow.
Yeah.
How many did you make?
Just 30.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like this massive like amount, but like I'm grateful.
so
you know
cool
what I
on
mean?
it.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like and it wasn't through Instagram. I don't really, I don't post my sales on Instagram because of that algorithm. You get lost, and then they own everything that you have.
It's cool. It's like
Right.
old school on an email list. Like, you don't need to count on social media for that. If you're a fan, they know where to get the stuff from you.
Yeah,
That's
and I got
awesome.
like
yeah.
the Discord and a Facebook group,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
of them. Big shout outs because those are the people that really support me. They take the time to like my stuff, to
Yeah.
share it, to sign up for the list. They don't just like it and move on. You know
Has
what
social
I mean?
media helped your business? Helped?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, thank God for social media.
Mhm.
I mean, as horrible as it can be,
Yeah.
like for artists and stuff and friendships and like the technology to get the work out of there. Like if this was, 20 years ago, I couldn't post a picture and, hopefully find somebody that buys it, let alone like it. It's just sitting in where it's sitting until it gets shown.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good from it too.
Sure.
But there's
Necessary evil. We need it.
Yeah.
Fuck, Joey, man. Love you, brother. Appreciate you. This has been awesome, dude.
Love you.
This has been awesome, dude. What a great conversation. I love that you still say that you still say huge. You still get your Philly accent, bro.
You know it.
You never
man.
get rid of that Philly accent, bro.
No, I hope not.
Thank you for being here, Derek.
Yous.
Yeah.
What are yous doing after the podcast?
Use guys.
do it.
Yeah,
Use
you-
guys. Shout out to Mo.
Yeah, big
Holding
strap.
it down.
Love you, Mo.
What a G.
My queen.
And thanks for listening, everybody. You can check out his website, check out his Instagram, check out his artwork, check out the collabs coming out with him and Sepultura. Who knows what's going to happen? The Torn State logo, the Josh Brolin book cover that he did, all that shit. I got one of those posters in there signed by you.
And I do collectible statues now too.
You do?
Yeah, a couple of my things came out.
Like this character?
Oh yeah, sold out. Both
wow.
runs. Both runs.
Ah.
White and black, orange and black, gone.
So you're doing some okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, 3D stuff.
Nice.
And I got another couple new projects for this year. I can't really talk about
Okay.
because of NDAs, but I'm stoked to go into it, man.
Killing it, dude.
Yeah,
Proud of you, dude.
yeah.
All right, brother. Peace, everybody. Bye. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm looks like a big black blob, is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years to have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryo technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over a 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. but it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality it's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have my sponsor my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. And one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth.